You're listening to episode 13 of Rogue Nation. Tonight we have with us, Kevin to the core.
Yo.
Got Heel Hunter Joe.
What's up?
Got Ghost Hunter Emir.
Yo.
And Just George.
Yo.
And of course me, the big man Justin. And tonight, Emir, our resident gamer, is going to be doing some hosting tonight. But after we get through some of the toy section, if we
survive.
To begin with, we got some new pops coming out. We got the Marvel 80th anniversary pops. Got some Sandman and Kraven. And what version of Spider-Man is that? Do you know?
I believe it's
That's a Scarlet.
Is that
Scarlet?
Scarlet.
Oh, one of
Spider.
the second costume for Scarlet Spider, the
Right.
shitty costume for Scarlet Spider.
The black and red one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like the blue sweater one more.
So, and then they also have the antiqued versions of some of these characters that are coming
Wolverine,
out.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think it's Captain America? No. Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man. Target exclusives.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Good luck finding those.
Good luck.
The
Nova Corps.
The Nova Corps got Nova
Specialty series.
Well, it's Nova
definitely
Prime,
like
right? Because he
Nova
has the
Prime,
shoulder,
right,
the
sorry,
shoulder
yes.
pads.
Yes. That'll be at the comic shops. Go get it. I love glow in the dark pops.
Yes, those are always fun.
That's cool.
Oh,
so it's like plasma bath. Oh, and the 3 circles.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
I'm
So
Corcus.
look out in your comic book stores for your Nova Prime pop.
See, that's my Nova, Richard Rider.
Yeah, mine too. Well, I was a fan of the younger. What was his name again? Sam.
Sam Alexander.
Yeah, I did like Sam.
Oh, when Jeff Loeb relaunched it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
put his kid in it. Yeah.
A lot of San Diego exclusives were announced too. Already.
Were they announced already?
The Masters of the Universe one. It's a
There
two-pack.
is a Masters. Oh shit!
Two-pack of He-Man and Prince Adam.
Oh shit!
Done in the old comic style.
Oh,
That's
I
cool.
thought that was a pop. Never mind.
No, not pops.
Toys.
Toys.
Actual
figures.
Actual
Still.
figures. But look at that box art.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be tough not to buy.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be on Mattel's website
Cool.
after the con.
So what comes up first, San Diego or New York?
San
San
Diego.
San Diego. New York is in the
Yeah,
fall.
yeah.
Right. October.
Okay.
San Diego's in July.
It's San Diego, then New York, then
Yeah.
then they do Emerald City.
Yeah. Typically, Marvel's the standout in San Diego and DC's the standout in New York. Typically.
But this year with San Diego being so dry, I mean,
Right.
shit.
Wait, did they say DC is gonna be there?
No, 2020.
Oh, it's Warner Bros, not DC.
Yeah,
Warner
Warner
Bros.
Bros.
as a studio won't be there. DC Comics and maybe TV shows will
Right.
be there.
But
Yeah.
not the movie.
Because Barroom 20 is still doing the TV stuff, which is kind of sad that the biggest TV things going on are the CW shows because there's no Game of Thrones. Walking Dead's basically dead at this point.
No pun.
Until the Blood Moon comes out.
Yeah, but that's at least 2 years away.
Yeah, they can start at what?
I mean, if they want to garner any audience, they need to do something.
Let's see what happens.
I think they're gonna let it lie. They're gonna let it lie. Let the just hype you like they've been doing. Like when Game of Thrones, the last episode of Game of Thrones, they give you a trailer for Westworld. Westworld's still more than a year away.
For real.
You know.
And it looked good enough for me to want to go back, even though I was soured at the end of the first season, and that was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even watch the second.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the second season.
No, I'm good.
Nah. Did you pick up anything or no?
I haven't picked up anything as
Nothing.
far as, but I haven't had time. Not much, and there's not much out there I want right now. I was
That's
at the store. I will say I was at Hot Topic the other day looking, and I just didn't really see anything I wanted. There's just nothing.
I ordered from there. I didn't go there. I ordered from the website.
The only thing I did buy, I will change my answer. I did buy the Fantastic Plastic Rockabilly,
Okay.
and the only reason why I bought that is because I bought it for the place I get my tattoos. Because the place I get my tattoos is Rockabilly Tattoo, and the actual prop fits the store. The way it looks with the soda shut mouth, that he has a guitar and he's got the hair all time, fits the store perfectly.
That's cool.
So I bought it for the store, and I'm going to bring it to him when I finally get it.
Nice.
But other than
Nice.
that, I
Nice.
just
Pretty cool.
it was the only thing, and I made sure to get on and get that thing thinking it was going to go fast, and then
Did it
by
sell
10
out?
o'clock, no, by 10 o'clock last night they were still available. I was like, fuck, just another one of my curse. Anything I touch just turns to ash.
Okay.
George here got a My Hero Academia pop.
Yep.
Todoroki?
Yeah, so another pre-order. I love pre-orders. It's like a little gift you forget about. It just comes in. You're like, oh, what's that box? So it's not the glow in the dark version, which sold out, and I think it's at $80 or $90 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a re-release of it, non glow in the dark, and it's just a nice little pop that has plastic on it as well, with a little action pose. It's a little top heavy, so you got to position it just right for it to fall. But it'll get added on to my collection at work. I have 4 so far out of the ever so many on the back of the box.
I mean, what I like about it is that it's the action pose from his origin episode.
Yes, it is, and he actually does have the fire on, which he typically does not use.
Right.
Cool. All right. One of the things I wanted to talk about was I found an actual posting for all the merchandise you could buy at Galaxy's Edge.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, which is what you were asking about last week.
So everything that you could possibly buy, and believe me, they throw everything in the kitchen sink into this fucking.
Yeah.
I think there's a kitchen sink in there.
Yeah, but it was Darth Vader's kitchen sink. Now you want it, don't you? So they have everything from Imperial badges with the pit with the ranking on it. They've got Thrawns, specifically one just for Thrawn.
For him.
Nice.
They've got everything from Padawan braids that you can buy, Padawan lightsaber, the fucking lamp that one of them had, the lamp that Luke had on Dagobah that Yoda stole and Archie tried to take back. They got that damn thing. But anything you could possibly, but they finally did release the pricing on the Legacy lightsabers.
I think it's more than 200, right?
No, they're actually very decently priced.
So they're cheaper than the custom ones.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
most of them.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
So if you want Obi-Wan's lightsaber from not from
You hope?
not from New Hope, from
the
the prequels.
Okay.
that black
109. And then
Solid.
Temple Guard has a lightsaber at 109. Darth Maul, one half, not the whole piece, 129. Kylo Ren's lightsaber, 149. Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi, 129.
Yeah, that's the one. I would get that one.
Asajj Ventress lightsaber, 129. Ahsoka Tano, which are the ones I want.
The double?
The double.
Okay.
Yeah. 199, but it's a
And
double.
I like how hers curves.
Yes.
The current hill, like Count Dooku.
And then Mace Windu's 109, and then you could buy a belt clip for it.
Right.
And then you could also, but the blades are sold separately. The blades are like $50.
Right.
And then you could buy like a little sheath, like a little thing you can wear on your back to put the blades in, so you can carry them around.
Makes sense.
So they're selling everything. But I was surprised at how decently priced these were. I thought these for sure would be in the 300s.
Are they made with the same material as the?
They're all metal.
Yeah.
custom.
They're all custom, and they all have, or they should. The only one I saw demoed was Luke's. They all have an adapter so you can put the blade in. So they're made to look like they're from the movie. And then when you want to put the blade in them, somewhat like Luke's you need to take the head off it and put the adapter in. And they all take the kyber crystals,
right?
Like the ones you get in your
And they
custom
come,
ones.
and they come with those cases.
Yes, they come with the little plastic case that you can put them in.
Nice.
And there's a nice demo of it there's a couple of demos of it on YouTube if you want to check it out. The other things I was impressed with is you can buy Jedi robes.
Yes, I saw it. Yeah.
Full set of Jedi robes for less than $200. And again, I'm like, that seems amazingly affordable to me. Considering I'm used to Disney being like,
right.
You want it?
You're
gonna pay for it.
Right.
You know, they seem to be very reasonable with these prices. Whether they last, don't know. But this is right now as it stands, it looks like they're really trying to get people to go, we want to buy this shit, buy as much as we can.
I'm going in October, so
you want to get me some Jedi robes for Halloween?
The only thing about the Jedi robes is you can't wear them in the park.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I'm okay with that.
But everything you've ever wanted to own from Star Wars, pretty much you can buy.
I'll wear my Padawan
You can
braid.
buy Palpatine's cane. You can buy Palpatine's robes, his cloak, which that one actually is really
his
expensive.
lightsaber. His lightsaber is not listed.
No, actually his is
Not yet, but I'm sure it'll come
I'm sure
up.
it's coming, but
Any piece of jewelry you've seen that.
you think we'll get a Mara Jade lightsaber?
Oh god, I hope.
We'll never get it.
No, it's not canon.
It's not canon.
No, it's not canon.
Surprisingly, you know what is canon? Darth Maul's helmet.
Really?
They found some fan
Darth who?
moment that was in the Darth Vader
right.
comic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Well, the comics
The
are
helmet that
canon.
haunts Vader.
yeah, it's
The helmet is placed in not the cantina, one of the drinking areas
Hmm.
in the back. It's just like a prop in the back, And someone asked, like, "Oh, what is that?" And like one of the employees said, "Oh, that's moment."
Can you imagine having to be an employee of one of those areas and know pretty much every answer? To every
Oh, I'm
question
sure
you
these
could
guys
ask
had
you?
to test. You tested,
Yeah.
you know. Think
Star
about all
Wars
the
test.
think about all the Star Wars fans that work for Disney that volunteer. Like, I want to get into this and found
For
out it was
real?
actual.
Well, yeah, they said people were on a list.
I'm pretty sure it was a battle royale. They just shove people in a room. They give them plastic lightsabers. It's like the last 5 who come out. You're
Yeah,
hired.
but these guys are deep into playing characters. It's not just like being a Disney employee where it's like,
Right.
it's over there, it's this, it's that.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you gotta greet people like happy sons, and you have to act like you're part of this world.
Correct.
100%.
So it's funny how I found out was the same way the creator found out, which is Charles Soule when he wrote the comic book. Someone tweeted it at him, and I read it on his reply on Twitter, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's cool."
I'm sure he was excited.
Yeah, he was ecstatic.
Yeah, have all your stuff realized in that world. I mean, shit, that's amazing. So, yeah, so there's a pretty much anything you ever wish to own, you can own. So I did want to mention that on the show. Moving from this area, we're now going to turn it over to our correspondent Emir in E3 news, because there was a lot of E3 stuff this week, and Emir was the one that followed it all. So
He took more notes than all of us combined.
he has 45 games he's interested in. I maybe have 3, and that's an iffy 3.
Me too. I have.
It's an iffy
I did not follow the Facebook chat, but I did follow E3. I watched everything.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
I did. I was changing diapers and watching E3. So
For those listening, it's because Joe ended up coming over for the podcast on a day that we had rescheduled.
I don't look at it all the time, but when I do,
Yeah, once every 3 days. Like Jesus, the resurrection.
right. I come and I go.
Are you comparing Joe to Jesus or the podcast to Jesus?
The podcast should
the
be
podcast,
Jesus.
probably.
Yeah, it should be. Go ahead.
Right. So, me of the group here, I have the most interesting games, I believe. But like Justin said, I have 45 picks of games that, from mild interest to things I'm going to definitely buy. But I think today we should just focus on a few big hitters. I want to leave Final Fantasy for the end because I think that's the one that we'll talk the most
Makes
about.
much sense.
But first, I kind of want to bring up Borderlands. I know I realize that Joe's a big fan, and we barely hear the man ever speak of that too. What did you get from the trailers? What was shown?
I like that we're getting new Vault Hunters. Well, they change them every game, so that's cool.
Right.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. The villain, he's back, but he's a good guy now.
Mm-hmm. But how did you feel about the whole premise, like what they were showing here? Because that's the thing that has me hopeful. Borderlands 2, I'm going to admit, I did not finish. Because at one point, I was kind of just tired of exploring.
And that's my favorite part.
No,
looting and exploring.
I know, but my whole thing is like I just hate long delays between walking.
Yeah,
You walk before you get the next piece of action. But what I saw in this one, it kind of looked like there might be like some siege fighting type of things to it, and that to me got me a little more than just like basic interest. I was just like, if this can be that chaotic with all the excessive guns and even guns that walk on their own, this could definitely be a A1 version of Borderlands for me.
That's when it took so long. Remember, they postponed it.
Yeah. They set it off and announced it, and they finally did it.
I love it. I will play the shit out of it. I'm calling out that day.
Oh, that's your call-out game?
I'm going to tell them right now.
There you go.
Hey, on September 9th.
I'm already sick.
I'm sick.
Don't
I'm already
expect
sick.
me.
When's that out?
September 9th or
Early September.
it's September. I pre-ordered.
Yes.
I pre-ordered the $100
7th,
version.
7th, 9th. I did not pre-order yet. I'm just going to wait.
I did. Borderlands.
There's usually
But
good
I
deals
spent-
right before the pre-order.
Yeah. I spent enough.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Sorry.
when we get to that.
Yeah. On top of that, too, a few things I wanted to mention before we go to other picks of it too. I think Nintendo did really well
They did.
this year
yes, it
100%.
did.
compared to every other system because all they did was play a little video, but they showed so many titles that looked really interesting. And
It makes me
great.
want to get a Switch.
Like on top of the fact that one of their big headliners was an RPG called Trials of Mana. I don't know how many of you are RPG fans.
No.
Well,
Well, I am, but not
Trials of Mana is one of the Mana series. It was a game like since Super Nintendo. But
Secret of Mana.
Yeah, like Secret of Mana. But Trials of Mana was like even predates it. It never released in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
They kept it in Japan. Everyone wanted this one or that too. You had fan-made translations and such too. And on top of the fact that they made a Mana collection where it has all the games and everything too in English for the US and that too, they made a whole new 3D revamped version. Kind of the same way they're treating the new Zelda game, and I'm not talking about the Breath of the Wild 2,
Link's Awakening.
but Link's Awakening.
Right.
It's like a revamp, and that itself looks amazing on its own. I looked at it, I'm like, it's keeping its charm, but it's updated. Right. So I want to run through this again.
Oh, no, I am.
The only thing that I learned about it is that it's literally the same game, like carbon copy, which for those people who play like fan-made translations, that might suck. But for someone like myself who never really got around to it, but I did like Secret of Mana, I'm excited either way because I'm like, good, they didn't change anything, they didn't try to add some new gimmicks. I'm thinking I want to play the game that people love.
All right.
Next on the list here, what I want to jump to is going to be Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I think
something that we are universally are excited for.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And everything too. This is their second E3 appearance. The big thing from this E3 is that on top of the fact that they gave a different view, because at first they were focused on the female character, who's your big fighter today. This E3 they showed V, who's your cybernetic hacker type of dude, the mission. But the big thing that surprised everyone and made it all over Twitter was the fact that Keanu Reeves is one of your major characters.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just a cameo; it's a regular character.
Right. And essentially, he's the version of Cortana for those of you who played Halo. And so I'm just thinking, I'm like, damn, you're gonna have Keanu Reeves' voice in your ear the whole time, telling you how he feels about shit that's going on.
I'm okay with that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm all about that.
I heard that the private behind the doors demo of the game wasn't focused so much on the game, so some people
a lot of hacking. I heard.
Right, it was just explaining mechanics. So a lot of people took that negatively. Like, they're like, this is boring. But to me, I'm like, you already showed us the cool stuff last year. Exactly. We can replay that 50-minute video. Exactly. I like the fact that you're showing the system and all stuff too. So I just think that it just varies on the level of fandom.
Mm-hmm. Game mechanics are very important.
Yeah, but the game itself, I'm still 100% sold on it. Yeah. I would be purchasing the collector's edition had it be coming out for PC, but sadly, the only consoles are getting that love. Right, I'm not buying a game twice. So,
but it's still coming out for PC.
Huh?
Just not the
collector's
edition. No, but if you get Xbox Ultimate on PC, it's day and date. Will be on Game Pass.
Well, no, that's what Xbox is hoping for, but I didn't get a confirmation. I haven't read anything that confirms that this game is going to be one of those on Game Pass.
Game Pass
I think Phil Spencer said day and date. After
maybe that's it. I'd have to look it up. I can't. Okay. I'm just not going to say yeah.
It's just funny because, like, me being, like, the resident non-gamer of the podcast, I'm most excited for that game. Great. Only because I'm such a huge sci-fi fan, and I love cyberpunk as a subgenre of that.
I mean, everything you've seen for the game looks...
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks something...
It looks immersive.
New, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like John Wick being in it is just an accident.
Honestly, I was sold on the game before.
Me too.
I was just like, and even when I saw it, I was just like, oh, all right.
I'm like, that's cool and all.
Yeah,
look, you could put all the celebrities in the game. Doesn't mean the game's gonna be any good.
Right.
Show me the game's gonna be good, then put the celebrity in it. Jesus.
Right. That's exactly how I took it. I really am worried about exactly what Emir brought up of like platform. I'm not sure if that was confirmed of. Will that be day of all platforms released? Or is it consoles first, then PC, then other
I believe
stuff?
it's going to be... I mean,
as far as I know, I think it's going to be all equal release because no direct console bought exclusivity.
So that's good.
Yeah. Right. What I would say. Especially it's going to be fair across the board because the pre-sales are up for consoles as well as on Steam. The pre-sales are there. And the launch day looks to be the same.
So then my only concern is, something Emir will get to is its release on Stadia.
Mm-hmm. So, with that, before we get into the consoles, I just want to keep mentioning a few extra things that I thought were pretty great for anyone to check out too. Is if you're a Minecraft fan, the fact that they made Minecraft Dungeons, a dungeon crawler, Minecraft base. I wasn't a big fan of Minecraft period because I love Lego block building, but not playing a game around it. But that dungeon crawler looked pretty fun. It's like, okay, this is cool. I just hope that they give you options of building your own. On top of that, Watch Dogs Legion. I saw it. I initially was hating on the game, period, because I still had. No, not even that. No,
it's a Watch Dogs.
It was just my hate for Watch Dogs because of the previous one where everything was amazing, right? And it dropped to 2, became like a discount buy within months of release. But what sold me on this one, and I was watching the trailer again, hating on it, was the moment that the character they showed you in the trailer died, and it was a permadeath. Once I saw that,
and it switched to someone else.
Right. Once I saw that, it's a permadeath. I'm like, holy crap! You play as someone else, and that's it. You can't bring that guy back. And on top of that, once they switched to an old lady,
Yeah.
It was dope.
And I died of laughter because you just see
She
the old
tased
lady
him.
walking up slowly, taps on the guy's shoulder. He turns around like, "Hey, blah!" I'm like, "This is awesome."
And isn't it like any NPC that you play as, or any character you play as, they have like a different skill set?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yep. And you can effectively be anyone.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Since it's Legion, it's like, think of it like a gang of people,
yeah.
and you hop around.
I
As
instantly
they
thought-
die, different skills.
I instantly wanted to build the Golden Girls, like find a bunch of old women and enlist them.
Oh my
And
god.
just run around like a bunch of old women.
And just run your own music all the time.
Right.
So now, can you change between characters even if there is no permadeath?
I think so.
It seems
sure.
like it.
It's not
It
set.
has its
but-
whole thing too, but I think if you're on like a current mission, it's not that that your person teleports out.
Well, he was
You bring someone else
trying to list someone for drones because he didn't have that skill. So he's like, "Oh, we need to find someone
Right.
that knows drones." So
So
I'm
would that
guessing when
be-
you find that person, you
So
can
would
be
that be
person?
an aspect of the game that you have to work at as like recruiting someone?
It looks like it.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
because he was
There-
trying to recruit the person, but he died.
There was a zombie game for Xbox on Microsoft for the Game Pass that actually had a similar mechanic where you were a group of people who were surviving, and that was one of the things recruiting.
State of Decay.
State of Decay, exactly. I
love-
know what you're getting.
I was playing at home.
Exactly. So
What
you
is
have to
the-
recruit. Recruiting's big.
Recruiting big.
So I'm assuming that Watch Dogs is going to have a similar mechanic for
That's cool.
recruitment.
That's to me.
or
That's really
persuasion
interesting.
or
You should play
bribing.
State of Decay.
I have played it.
We have.
I played
That
a
was
lot
one
of
of
it
the
for
games
The new expansion, amazing.
Yeah, then I gotta give it a try again because I kind of got bored of it.
The new stuff's amazing.
But with that, I still want to give out the skepticism that the first
Watch
Watch
Dogs.
Dogs seemed like a phenomenal piece of thing, and what came out was kind of a polished turd.
I might buy it. Yeah, 2 is better.
So here's hoping.
Is that another thing of all platforms, same day?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
Just kept it like
The only ones that really have exclusives are like Nintendo and Sony.
I'm sure Sony will. Yeah.
No, Sony has a stack of
Yeah.
exclusives.
Well, no, the Avenger game. They said they have something exclusive for Sony.
Well, I believe Elden Ring.
Yeah.
That's the one I was trying to think of. Okay.
Yeah, Elden Ring is going to be one that's exclusive to Xbox. And to me, I'm not even a fan of like the medieval era and everything, but Game of Thrones has kind of changed my thought process on it. But the fact that R.R. Martin himself is working on this,
Yeah, I want
I'm
to play it.
I'm like, the story should be epic. And what they showed was only CGI, so just
Right. That's what I was gonna say. I'm like the
Right.
teaser trailer they show because essentially it's just a
That's
teaser.
usually what you do
It
with
doesn't
an
show anything.
An early teaser is usually CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to wait for gameplay on some of those things.
right,
100%.
too. But it still caught my interest. Where normally
yeah.
I would be like,
Creators alone, it caught your
right,
interest.
it's just
And then now for me, because it's an Xbox exclusive, I have to hope it's a timed exclusive and not a full exclusive like Halo.
Yeah.
right, and everything too. Which
Halo's
that
PC.
new reintroduction was great too. I just hope I'm like, okay, it sounds like they're rebooting the franchise. It's not
The what?
just
Halo.
Halo.
Yo, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I have to step into. As a former huge Halo fan, last game I played was Halo. I would say Halo 3 legitimately, but it was Halo 4 that I played for like an hour or two, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
You didn't play Reach or anything?
Did I play Reach?
Reach was my favorite.
Reach is great.
I don't remember.
We're
What
getting
was Reach?
We're getting on the Xbox.
What was Reach? I don't remember what that was.
You play as a team before the
Right.
Spartan even existed.
I
Yeah.
thought that was ODST.
No.
ODST is you're playing as ODST members. These are not even
Right.
like Spartans. But Reach follows the story of Fall of Reach, where it's like before they're officially Spartans, you're following these characters.
5 was them trying to take in.
The Guardians. That was the Guardians one.
Yeah.
That's the one that I saw, and I'm like, I'm okay. But this Halo Infinite, as you know, old Halo fan, and then seeing the old Halo destroyed,
completely.
so cool. And then the chills I got, because mind you, I watched this without any context. I'm like, who's this soldier? Why is he in space? What's happening? And when, as soon as he clears the frost from the windshield, and you just see Master Chief floating in space, yo, I got chills.
Oh yeah.
It gave similar feelings to the original Halo,
Hell
where you
yeah.
just have a lot of
Yeah.
questions. You're just like, oh.
And then he just acts like, like a mute badass.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, we gotta run. And Master Chief was like, no, we fight. And it's just
Seasoned.
so cool.
Seasoned. That's what that is.
I'm buying it.
And hearing that music again, but
Yeah.
like it brought back nostalgia because it gave me vague reminiscence of the first two.
Right.
Definitely.
Something about it, about the serious tone about it, and not this like outlandish action, gave me those vibes of 1 and 2. When is that out?
Next fall.
Jesus.
Well, no,
With-
not
with
even
the
next
console.
fall. No. It's going to be released with the
With the new
new
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah,
so
he
that's
said-
what that was.
he
Right,
said
but
Christmas
they didn't
2020.
necessarily. Right, it's like an estimation.
Right,
They didn't
so
necessarily give a
next
date.
fall.
This is what they're hoping.
They
for.
usually shoot for the holidays.
So the possible next Xbox console will come with
With Halo.
the
That'll
release
be an
of Halo
exclusive,
Yeah,
Infinite.
right.
I mean, hey, that's one way to do it.
I'll buy
I mean,
both.
Halo's their franchise, man.
Yeah, Halo is it.
That's their claim to fame.
And they literally said
And
that
they're
upon announcement. It's
they
like, what's the point of
literally beat
it?
the horse to
You know,
death
what
with
sold our first system was
it. They
Halo.
do. I mean,
Yeah,
we
we're
wanna
releasing
release it
Halo
again.
with
I read the books.
with,
It's all better.
with Scarlet, or whatever they're gonna end up calling Scarlet.
And now I feel like I'm missing a game that we said we were going to talk about here.
Link's
Avengers.
Awakening.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're okay.
Well, we
I'm
haven't
touching
gotten to
on
the
this.
Square Enix segment.
Marvel
which is a little
Ultimate
thicker.
Alliance.
All right, so that's another one of the things in Nintendo. Marvel
Jedi,
Ultimate
Jedi.
Alliance. There we go. That's what I was missing. Marvel Ultimate Alliance looks like it's going to be crazy fun. It feels just like the old X-Men. Not even X-Men Alliance, but I don't
X-Men
remember the name.
Legends.
X-Men Legends. I love that personally. I played the
Same.
hell out of that when I was in the
Same.
GameCube.
I still
And
have
I just think it's funny, chaotic fun with a silly story, but it's still you
Right.
gotta be your hero.
It sounds
before
familiar,
you gotta
but I don't
run
think I
around.
played
You get a
that.
team of like
You had to
Marvel
play.
characters, and you run around with 3 other characters, and you all.
And
beat
you
up.
But co-op? Co-op by yourself?
Yeah. Well, this time.
Well, you can be up to co-op up to 4. Even on the
Nice.
GameCube.
Yeah, I know. But this time we online and all that.
Right,
Stuff.
and you can definitely play with
So,
people.
Solo up to 4.
Already, that sounds fun.
I'm in. So I need a Switch.
The
now.
2 other things I want to mention: the Contra collection plus a new Contra game,
Contra?
which is crazy to
Bro,
me.
that's hysterical.
And I was just like, wow, they re-released it. So the collection's already out. You can play that already.
Right.
I bought it. I was fucking around with it at work.
course.
And the 2, hey, I played the hell out of the old game. That was one of the only things I had as a
I
kid.
remember that.
So I was just like, yo, I'm going to play this again. On top of that, the new Pokemon, which to me, as a fan that I used to actually
Sword
sit,
and Shield.
yeah,
Sword and Shield.
they gave actual gameplay demos and everything too. And the fact that it's a 3D
Open
overwhelmed world and the weather elements, all of this matters. There's no like cheapy, like, hey, this is a grass Pokemon, but you can get them in the middle of the mountains. No, none of that. It's just like you have to make sure that
Like the
things
Koji
fit.
Batman.
They took all the
Koji
years of
Pokemon.
work they filled
Like,
in
yeah,
Pokemon.
why are they?
Right. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, they want to make things amends. Sure. Like, I'm still
That's
excited.
cool. No, man.
Yeah, I'm still
I'm in
excited
for
about
big
it.
ass Pokemon.
If I don't have a Switch by then, I'm buying a Switch one way or another.
Also, it's one of those Nintendo exclusives.
Yeah, yeah,
110%.
Well, Pokemon, yeah.
Always
Nintendo
been
was
Nintendo.
Pokemon.
Yeah, it's never been.
Forgive my ignorance. I'm not a gamer.
No,
I think they may
no.
have had one game that was not on Nintendo. Well, that was on something else. Like on the place? No.
Didn't last if it didn't.
No, it wasn't good or
it's,
anything.
it's never been on another system. Only Nintendo.
110%?
120%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pokemon's never been
Yeah,
on.
Pokemon's owned by Nintendo.
Nintendo.
No, I know it's owned by Nintendo, but I thought one of their games went out for a different console.
That's
Not
possible.
a mainline game.
No, not
A side
everything was always either
You know, like Ash's Toilet Editor or
Game Boy
something.
Advance.
What?
Actually, what was that?
Ash's Toilet Humor.
That's the title for today's.
Yeah, that's just totally good.
But on top of
But
that,
he's
what,
not catching Pokemon.
the one other thing that I enjoyed the most, the fact of this, is that this year's there's so many RPGs coming out. It's like RPGs used to be like, Diamond
Right,
Dozen
and each thing
and stuff too.
Right.
Like you have really dope things like Astral Chain, which looks like an awesome
That one looks great.
action RPG. If you're into the anime kind of look, and you can forgive that stuff. I already mentioned the Tales series. We have Breath of the Wild 2 coming out,
Sequel.
which is awesome because like we mentioned prior to the show, is just the last time that there's been a direct sequel has been forever ago. So
Majora's Mask was the last.
Yeah.
right,
sequel.
and that is, when did you?
Nice.
When's the last time you touched an N64?
Oh,
Yeah, but Majora's Mask was ported over to
GameCube.
no, but it was also ported over to Game Boy.
Yeah, it was ported over a bunch of
Oh
times.
my god.
Yeah, well, like the DS, not
The
actual
DS.
Game Boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah,
DS.
but I mean,
So I got
okay,
it for
like,
that.
Yeah,
just to
like,
replay
the
it.
ports are cool and all too, but I'm just thinking like as far as like
Official.
when it
Oh
came
no,
out
no,
and
no, no,
released.
yeah, because all those other games were
And
like,
and since Breath of the
standalone.
Wild was such a redesign of the whole
Thing.
Everything.
product, I mean
No,
everything.
and then even seeing
I
that
love it.
trailer for it's like semi cell shaded goodness of that too. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of creepy. Like this is
Yeah,
dope. I want to see what this is. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and the fact that they gave you just enough to go, ooh, this looks good, but not enough to go, what is this? Because we're still wondering, is this on the same map? Is it a different map? What are they doing?
Right.
I mean,
like through the grapevine, people mention that it's the same map and all too. It's like, to me, I'm okay with it so long as like there's
new
enough,
things.
Yeah, enough new stuff.
Like maybe if all the shrines, you have to go back to all the shrines, but they move or something like that.
Right. Like I just want some kind of chaotic event. Like, hey, you know what? Ganon, after you did that, he had some trick up his sleeve. That's what this thing is.
Or this could be, they could go completely away from Ganon and do something completely new villain.
Right. That would be intense in its own
because it's always Ganon.
It's gonna be right. It's gonna spawn some hate, but I'm with you. I would think that would be awesome to have something new. Kind of like what Majora's Mask did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Skull Kid. Like, give me something different like that. I'd like to see that. That would be dope. And with that, I want to jump over to Marvel Alliance.
Okay.
Well, not Alliance. I'm sorry.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Marvel's Avengers.
Marvel's Avengers.
Which has created quite the controversy.
Right, exactly that too. Okay, I'm with it. The models kind of look off, but I'm still
they look horrible.
We're trying to be polite.
Being nice.
No. Fuck that. Here's the thing: they're already saying they're already listening, and they're already saying they're going to tweak them. So just tell them how much you hate it now, so we can get the right models. Because all the women look like guys, all the guys look like they're in their 40s and on football teams. And it looks terrible.
Well, I'm gonna say
the graphics are good.
I like Thor and I like Banner.
Those are the two best looking.
Banner,
you're
right.
Yeah, but
and even Tony, Tony
looks strange. He looks like Dave Grohl. I can't unsee it.
What's he showing me?
That didn't bug me. That didn't bug me. What bugged me is that he's voiced by Drake. Nathan Drake.
Oh, okay. I was like, excuse me?
The guy who
We're in the game area. He's voiced by the guy from Uncharted. Yeah. Nolan North. So that was what got me, because all I can hear is Nathan Drake. That's all I can hear.
That's funny.
Yeah, I can see how they can throw
And then legitimately, Cap looks like the model looks like he's like someone else's stunt double.
Yeah. He really does.
That's the best.
And he's wearing like football pads.
Yeah.
And, it's like, and the shield isn't even right. There's too much red, not enough of anything else.
I love the meme that's making fun of Chris Nolan's Dark Knight, where it's like Chris Evans' Cap. He's like, what's the difference between you and me? And it's the game one. No, the game one talking to Chris Evans. And the Chris Evans Cap is like, I'm not the one wearing hockey pads.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's one of those, the meme ruins it for me that now I can't unsee it.
No, what you said, Kevin, that it looks like it's a bunch of dads cosplaying?
Yes. Okay, I can't take that credit.
Hey.
That was a joke, because I could have sworn it was someone on Collider or something. I can't remember who said that. I can't take that credit, because it was from
whoever said it, thank you for it. I can't unsee it now.
Yeah, it was
Josh.
No, it was Comic Book Nation.
Oh,
so from comicbook.com. Comicbook.com's podcast, Comic Book Nation. Someone said that, they look like a bunch of dads cosplaying for their kids. And I can't
It's a nail in the head.
I can't unsee it. It's so good.
That was one of the most anticipated games of the show.
Yeah.
And as soon as it came out, immediately. What was that?
Scratch the models.
Oh, it's great.
Story looks legit.
It looks like it's going to be great. I like the fact that it's its own standalone thing.
Right.
We're not trying to recreate a movie type of shit.
It looks fine. It looks good.
They're broken.
To me, it makes me feel nice on the sense of like Spider-Man did Epic. Mm-hmm. The fact that this is Squaresoft, they're known for making great stories, and they're making their own. I'm just like, I'm gonna give it my okay. Yep. I'm interested in buying it. I'm gonna say prior to even seeing it, I'm not the Marvel fanboy in that sense where I was like, oh, we gotta play this game. Oh, no. Except Alliance, because that was just lunacy fun to me.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. But now I'm interested in it. It's on my list of things to get.
I mean, it was there for me when they announced that Square was doing it. I'm just a little disappointed, in what I'm seeing. And unfortunately, this is a visual medium. I mean, you're not going to follow a blob of shit around in a game, no matter how good the story is. I'm sorry.
Luckily, you see it from the back half the time.
True.
Yeah.
But still, if you're still following a blob of shit around, you're acutely aware that it's a blob of shit. So that being said, I do like the fact that they are listening and they are going to tweak it, which I figured they would anyway. This is just preliminary stuff. We're still, 2 years away on this, or a year away?
No, a year and a half, a year?
Yeah.
You could have said, I thought I said May 2020.
And games like this, they tweak them all the way up until release week.
True.
So
Yeah, the
And
character
the whole
models.
thing is swapping models is nothing compared to
yeah,
to anything
it's
else
not.
because
To be
it's
honest,
the same way they make skins.
The
They
first-
can do this.
exactly. And the first thing I saw when I saw it, I was like, God, this looks bad. But I'm like, there's still time to change it.
Yeah.
So I'm more into the area of I want to see. I don't want to see just a cinematic. I want to see gameplay.
Me too.
Because I mean,
That's
the cinematic on this looks great, but what if
Yeah.
the gameplay sucks?
Didn't they have a little bit of gameplay for it?
Yeah,
It said
the Iron Man.
in-game
The Iron Man
engine.
flying.
It said in-game engine.
Yeah,
when it showed it.
That's
The
for the
bridge.
rendering and
Right.
everything. Yeah, that's what the in-game.
Right,
is.
yeah. The bridge stuff is supposedly that is you flying Iron Man.
Right.
You as Hulk smashing
But
shit.
yeah,
and
but the
whatnot.
idea that you could maybe move between these characters and do these things like that sounds pretty cool.
But okay, so that's my question. I didn't see the entire presentation, Emir. You have to tell me is it what Justin just said? Are you switching between characters, or are you playing co-op,
They didn't say that.
or is
No,
it
no,
blend of both?
They didn't give you a straight clarification.
Any of it?
But
Okay.
it sounds like how Justin said that. It feels like you can jump between each of them. I think that they're going to try to do multiplayer side of things
Right.
of that too, just like Alliance of that, where
Mhm.
if you're with your friends, each of them's a
Right.
character, you guys are running through this together.
Right.
Which I think either
But the game is supposed to be that you're supposed to put the team back together.
right, but it's kind of like as you build along. because,
And
like-
apparently, Cap's might die.
Yeah, he might be
He
dead.
might be dead.
Whoa.
So.
yeah,
Yeah, we saw the.
We saw in the
Yeah, but you
trailer.
don't know. I mean, they could just be something else.
yeah. But at the same rate and everything too, going back to like a really old game that I said was based on X-Men Legends, you unlocked characters. You couldn't
Right.
play with anybody until you got to
And
that
they
point.
said
Until you at least had
So
enough
it
characters
could be
unlocked.
the same thing too. Like, yeah, it has multiplayer aspect, but only if you've gone through enough of the
They
story.
said that there's
Do it.
way more characters coming in,
Cool.
and it's all free. All DLC will be
Right,
free.
they're not playing those
Yeah,
games.
they're not
of, like,
charging you.
Square Enix likes to be like that. They're gonna give you a nice sized game up front, and a lot of their DLC, they're just gonna give it to you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's free. They
I
said
like
Yeah,
that.
they
Expansion.
subscribe to the expansion that you want to buy the whole game, not just half of it.
Thank God.
Right. But they said there's gonna be much more characters, and they all will be free.
Thank God.
So
Oh, that's cool.
I did like the rendering of Taskmaster. I thought he looked.
Yeah, he looked
Looked
good.
great.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
looked
I
fantastic.
thought he looked great.
Hey, don't change him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's the one that gets the most tweaking. We tweaked Taskmaster the most.
Why?
Yeah, they make his his hoodie thing like pink. I said, why? Like no one said to change that.
Nobody complained about
For the month.
Taskmaster.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But they said Sony will get an exclusive first. I don't know what it was. I think a character expansion or something. But Sony's getting some sort of exclusive first
right. I
Well,
mean,
maybe a
that-
pre-order
that's-
exclusive.
That's just like
Something.
pre-agreements
Yeah,
that they have
it's
with
something
Squaresoft
quick.
as a whole.
for like the first 3
But
months.
yeah,
and then,
forever I've associated Squaresoft with Sony. Like
right.
I see them as almost a one company.
But meaning
Well,
what?
yeah,
Like,
because
they're
they're
getting.
exclusive for the
That's what they said. They said it's something.
Sony's gonna have its own
They didn't say
exclusivity
what.
stuff.
Oh, okay, but not release.
No, we don't know. I believe that one's going out everywhere.
Okay, cool.
It would.
I
make
like.
sense.
I'm liking this trend that there are no exclusives. I know that it makes business sense for the companies, but it makes no sense for consumers.
Right, I agree.
You have
I
to
wish
pick
it
and
was
choose.
always that way, but I
Right.
understand. Like, this is how
Yeah.
they
Right.
sell their
Well, I'm
things.
hoping that Stadia becomes that company that everyone uses.
Right. That's what I kind of want
That's
to
what
get
Google's
on.
hoping for too.
Yeah.
Living on a prayer.
Now, with that said, before we get to our last game that I want to talk about, the only other thing I want to mention that are notable things, like Witcher 3 is dropping on the Switch, which is awesome because Witcher 3 is made by the same people
CD Projekt Red.
who are making Cyberpunk. It's a great storyline and all too, and I'm like, oh crap, they ported it to something else. I might just get it again just to play through it while I'm at work. I hope my boss doesn't listen, but on top of that, we're getting a Spyro remaster, which it was interesting that they announced that sideline. And I know plenty of people who love the hell out of Spyro.
There's a Crash Bandicoot racing game coming out again.
Right, and me personally, I never played the first one, so I don't have any love for that.
I like it.
But what I'd like to talk about now, which I think is the biggest highlight of
Bum
this
bum
E3,
bum.
was
Wait, before you go,
Oh,
I want to mention one.
Oh.
I want to mention one honorable mention for me,
Okay.
possibly you. I don't know if you like the game as much as I did. We're getting the Final Fantasy VIII remaster.
Oh, correct. Right. I think it's great. It's a remaster. I kind of wish they went through and fixed the models a bit
A little bit.
because I'm like, oh man, like their version of remaster is just we're gonna run the textures through and do stuff too. And if any of you are PC gamers, you already knew how to do this yourself, so you're just like, this isn't really that.
It doesn't do anything for
phenomenal.
my game.
I just like that it's on a system that I can play it now again, and I
Right.
can run through it, and I can get the game going again. So I'm excited for that because that's aside from 7, that's one of my favorite ones. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to be able to play the game.
And maybe you'll finish it all.
Maybe I'll finish it this time.
I've rented that
Now-
game 4 times.
Now on to The main event.
But we never. I'm so worried, buttered that we never talked Jedi.
Do you want?
Oh right, I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
explicit to me. I'm just not that kind of Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Forrest Whitaker.
To me, it looked awesome.
It did.
I didn't see any of the stuff for Jedi.
It looks like
so
in
I
an
don't-
action
Oh my
adventure.
God.
I mean, I was
game.
sold on it when I first saw it. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I just didn't see anything from E3 on it. That's all.
There was like a 20-minute like playthrough.
It's just
Yeah,
when I was
playthrough.
I didn't watch E3. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing on YouTube,
Mhm.
and it never made it into any of the feeds I saw. So
I'll send you the 20-minute thing later.
okay,
The Saw
Yeah,
Gerrera
but-
stuff was amazing.
It was cool. So story wise, it just seems like a Jedi just joins the fight with Saw Gerrera. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Story wise, so I have a ton of story questions. Where did he come from? How is he still another Jedi around? But then gameplay, I love that he's able to like slow down time on a
He has-
stormtrooper,
Yeah.
and he throws his saber and then can call it back.
Right.
It's amazing.
He has unique force powers, and it looks like he has a good mastery of the
Force
force.
pull.
Yeah.
He's not like
Right.
a Padawan or
I was
anything.
like, that reminds me of another Star Wars game because I have played that had that ability. The one with the baldish dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not a big
Star Killer.
Star Killer.
The Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed.
Right, but that's not canon, quote unquote.
Right.
Oh,
This
we
would
did-
be canon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. Because I was just like, when you're mentioning, I remember I've done with that dude. I'm gonna say, me personally, again, I'm not a major Star Wars fan and everything, so I've watched it all. It's interesting, but I don't have. It doesn't rustle my jimmies in that way. But I did see the trailer to this. It looked cool. I'm like, you know what? I'll give this a try to play it out.
Mm.
So long as it doesn't get bogged down in so much dialogue, because that was my beef with like previous Star Wars games. Where like you have a bit of the action, which is super fun, and then you have like 10, 15 minutes of you're walking here, listen to this guy monologue.
Yeah.
Even-
Walk over here, listen to this guy
The little
monologue.
droid
even the
was
last Battlefront was like that when we played the campaign.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just a lot of talking. You're like, I just want to shoot people.
Yeah, and then to me again, I don't have that kind of fan love
I
where,
know.
where I'm eating up
Well,
all
even
this dialogue.
even as a fan, I was like, come on, move it along.
yeah, and that's my thing. Like I'm just like, God, okay, all right,
Mhm.
cool, sure, he's a bad guy. Let me go fight the bad guy. You know, so
This
that's
is only like for us actual Star Wars
Yeah.
fans. This is only like the second or third story we're getting that's post Return of a Jedi.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because the last one that you said, Justin,
Yeah.
last one, Battlefront 2,
Battlefront
was immediately
post.
after.
Yeah, because you had the Emperor in that weird
Yes.
animated suit, and
Yes,
then
giving orders.
you had and then you had the group, the elite squad that was
Right.
going. Yeah.
And I could have sworn there was
Even
like
then,
a book.
Battlefronts are like not very.
But it's canon. I'm just saying,
It's canon.
like in what's considered now the
New
Lucasfilm, Disney, new canon of Star Wars, this is only the second or third story official that's between this space that has been entirely unexplored so far.
You're right.
Well, this is between 3 and 4, so
Right. But that's
Yeah.
like 30 years.
Yeah.
It's a big gap. And the thing that I found the most interesting was that Respawn Entertainment, they're the ones who are developing Jedi Fallen Order, is how they got told to do this by EA. They showed them a demo of another game they were working on, the mechanics and everything. They're like, we like this. Add Star Wars to it. It's like, you're getting Star Wars. Make a Star Wars game.
That's funny.
And it's like, oh, okay.
I can't imagine, like, as a bunch of nerds, they're probably like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sure they just show it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and to what I know, it was not her, but to Joe's point, I really like his droid.
yeah,
Oh,
The
his droid-
Jedi's droid looks
funny.
really cool.
It does. And like the way it moves around, it has
Right,
it sits on its
different.
back,
Yeah.
and the animation for it is great. As you're running, the way the droid bobbles with
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
and
yeah.
readjusts its graph
Yeah, I like how the legs and head move
independently.
independently, like omnidirectional.
Yeah.
To each other. I thought that was so
But-
innovative. That was so cool.
It looks like an RPG action adventure exploring game because there's parkour, wall running elements,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of stealth to it, and this dude understands the force. He
Right.
blows open a door, he slows down time, he throws his lightsaber.
It was explained that he was in the temple. He got away.
Yeah.
He was kind of trained, but then he had to train himself.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
then
what
game
temple?
was-
Luke's?
was- no,
No,
the
the
Jedi
order.
temple, the order before 66.
But
This is between 3 and 4.
Oh, that's right, Saw Gerrera.
Right,
Right.
Saw Gerrera. This is after 66.
Yeah.
So, and then he went.
So then Kanan is not, or Ezra are not last.
No.
Well,
I think
I
this
mean-
is after them.
There's always going to be
Right, this is
outliers.
after them. This
Yeah.
has to be after them.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm saying. Like, so Kanan is not last.
No.
Neither is Ezra.
No.
No?
Well, no, because Luke came after them.
True.
Luke and Leia came after them.
Yeah, you're right. But no, but I meant from the temple,
right,
from
okay,
the
temple.
order. From the Jedi Order,
Okay.
because it's in the title,
Oh.
Fallen Order. so who trained them? Like that's why there's a lot of story stuff that's never explained.
And I'm sure that we'll get it in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They said it will be. And what gave him away is he used his powers to help somebody.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, fuck you, you're a Jedi. And they went
which is
after
always how it happens. The Jedis are always trying to be too good.
right.
And
He was just getting a little crummy job, and then something happened where he had to save the guy from falling, and then they're like, oh shit, this guy's powerful.
The thing that sold me,
Right.
The gameplay or the fight mechanics that sold me, Justin, was him slowing down the time on a stormtrooper, and then boomeranging his lightsaber to kill him, and it come back,
and it cuts him in half.
It cuts him in half. And to me, it's so fucking.
One of the mechanics I liked was when he grabbed an R2 droid with the Force and launched it at a trooper, and it killed him. There was that much impact, and I was like, huh.
I mean, droids do weigh a lot.
Exactly. It's like there's a sense of I can't say realism, but Star Wars realism to it.
And then what wasn't clear, maybe it was to you guys, the black stormtrooper he fights with the spear, is that an Inquisitor or a Death Trooper?
No, they said it's a trooper with that blade that
can
the
fight
lightsabers
lightsabers.
can never go through.
Yeah, the shock.
I forgot
the
that
shock.
blade.
He's an anti-Jedi stormtrooper.
Right, which would be Inquisitor. But he doesn't have
Inquisitors
are Sith users.
Yeah.
Well,
Jedi,
Inquisitors used to be Jedi. Yeah, Inquisitors used to be Jedi.
Right.
They're not stormtroopers.
This is a stormtrooper that has anti-Jedi training.
Right.
Anti-Jedi
He's
weapons.
got that stupid baton.
He's essentially just a higher rank stormtrooper,
Right.
So it could
a
be
captain.
So it's probably the predecessor to what's to be a Death Trooper.
Right.
Potentially.
Right.
I mean,
But you remember in episode 3 when they were fighting Grievous's robots and they had those staffs with the electronics on them that were blocking lightsabers.
Right.
Similar idea.
yeah. So just stormtroopers have been just trained differently.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's just that we've been given the same stormtrooper over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, the doubles that can't shoot.
The games are lucky to give us an exploration of that.
Okay.
So I think we beat that horse dead.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not want to move away until we talked.
I agree.
About
It looks beautiful.
Because again, I cared about 3 games and that was one of them.
No, me too. I'm buying that
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry, I was being biased.
one. You're not, wow.
But
So
the main event.
the last game of the night.
Me personally, this was the thing that I was excited for before this, and I would have been excited for even if it wasn't even announced. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Which
Now-
looks
It
amazing.
looks sick. It's so sick.
Oh man.
I'm just glad that Squaresoft opened up with that beforehand because I would have not had interest in anything else they said, waiting for this.
Yeah.
The game itself in this trailer announced everything that were my concerns about it because it was like, okay, it's action based, but I need ATV. I need those skills. I need to know that the material is still used. And
I love the renders, how you can see the materia in the stuff.
arms
Oh my god, it's so beautiful.
And because that was one of my things is materia. I mean, materia is still going to be part of the game, but to what extent?
Yeah.
They seem to still keep it in
right.
there.
They seem to have the same effect essentially. The only difference is your ATV doesn't charge over time. It's based on your physical
Fighting
attacks.
Yeah.
Right, which I think is a perfect way to get action combat. With still keeping
So when
the
you're
turn-based
fighting,
fun.
you can't defeat. Some of the enemies you can't defeat with just swings. You have to involve the ATB element of the action. So as you go through, you swing and you swing your sword, you fight, you build up a bar at the bottom. Then when the bar builds up, you're able to stop time. Use the
Which
ATB.
that animation looks sick in itself. I love that. It felt like it was something kind of Mortal Kombat 11, which I don't know if you've played, but after you do a fatality, time slows down where everyone's moving incrementally slow. I was just saying, once I saw that in this, it sold me. And I love the fact that they didn't talk about it first. They just showed you the trailer. And once that happened, then they started talking in the technical demo.
So in a game when you're fighting like a robot that's got needs magic, needs thunder, you have to go into the ATB and you have to choose either that's where you choose your cures or your or your magic or whatever, and you're using ATB bars to do it. So you still get the original ATB element of the game, but mixed with the new stuff. Okay, and then you're also able to switch characters by pressing a button. So as you're fighting as Cloud, you switch over, and now you're Barrett. And you switch over, and now you're Tifa.
And with that said, one of my favorite things that I saw from this is the banter between characters. The fact that if you're playing with Cloud, and I don't know, in a way, the game's kind of giving you a hint where Barrett's in a better position for something. He's like, hey, I can shoot him, type of thing too. And then you switch to Barrett.
One of the characters, one of the bosses you fight, leaves the gameplay stage and goes off at a distance where Cloud can no longer attack. So you have to switch to Barrett because he's got long range.
Yep.
So
exactly.
when characters like Sid and or Vincent show up probably in the second game, those characters which have range are going to be your main characters for that as well.
And that's where the technical side, like the skillful things come in, because you notice like Bear was a slower moving character, and stuff too. So I'm glad there's no floating. Not everyone's some kind of magical being that can just get in and out anywhere. They're grounded, and that to me seems awesome because I'm like, okay, there's going to be strategy to this. It's not going to be brainless fighting.
They said that they were saying it was going to take 2 Blu-rays worth of information.
Yep.
This one game.
And this one game is going to be primarily focused on Midgard.
Yeah, because once you leave Midgard, which everybody remembers that that's when the game really started, was when you left Midgard. Right. But this game only focuses just on what you're going to do there, and then the second one is going to take you out of there.
Which Midgard was what, 2, 3, 4 hours? Most?
It wasn't that long, but they're saying when they did the remake that they had come up with so much information that they're able to pad out the game even further.
Right, they said they literally built all of Midgard. So it's no longer like you played this little segment. And
you're not just going through section 1 or section 3.
Right, they fleshed it all out, and to me that's awesome. Another thing from the trailer that I saw was great, and to me it's like tying in Advent Children and such, was that one scene where they show Aerith grabbing Cloud's arm, and out of nowhere you have that remnant smoke come up, and they're both having like that oh shit moment, like what's going on. And to me that's great because it's painting out the whole thing of Cloud with clarity. Like he's not living his own life. He's in some kind of clarity thing. Sorry about that. He's kind of figuring out his own clarity. It's kind of painting the image that ties this whole story of like him really being a remnant of Zack type of thing. And I'm like, this is great that they're tackling this all early. I just think this is going to be like the full telling without any extra investigation, without the extra games. So I'm ecstatic.
So we got in the original game, we picked up Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa in Midgard. But it was after there that we got the rest of the players. So are we just getting those first 3 in the beginning of the game?
I want to say yes
and no, because they got to give you a little more than that.
No, because the other characters like Sid and Vincent, Yuffie, they didn't. Cloud, Kate, Sid, they didn't show up until much later.
Like the only other one that comes from Midgard is X-13. Like the Red X. He's the only one that comes out of Midgard. And I'm perfectly fine with that because I still want it to be true to the source material in a sense. I'm like, fine, that even adds more new elements to the next one because you want to see what happens.
Don't you play with Sephiroth in the original game?
Only in that segment in Cloud's memories where
that's right.
He's remembering Nibelheim and what happened in Nibelheim and such too. So that's pretty much all you played as.
Which if they draw that out a little bit, that'd be a little fun.
Yeah.
I expect them to.
I liked that one of the questions I had, and it was upon the second watching, it was answered, was like in the game, you see he's got his giant Buster Sword, but when you played the game, he changed sword like 40, 50 times in the game. Was it going to reflect in the walking around render of the character? And it does, because you see he's got a different sword at a certain point in the game.
Right. He has a different sword, and the fact that this is only Midgard, and one of the swords he has was one of the swords you kind of got in the game late, unless you did, some cheating or some extra stuff. Not cheating. Some extra stuff to get it really early in the game. So seeing that, it's pretty cool that it comes out that way, because in my head, I was like, Cloud doesn't really have his own sword till nearly the end of the game anyways. Everything else is kind of essentially Zack's borrowed sword and other things he finds along the way. So I'm really hoping that it ties into the Advent Children kind of story thing, and they kind of flesh this world out the way they have outside of the game. I'm hoping that this game itself meets all of that.
The last thing I want to say on this is this is just something that I noticed for me was they always choose Supermans to play Sephiroth, because in Advent Children they got George Newbern to play Sephiroth, and he was the voice of Superman on Justice League. And in this movie, in this game, they've got Tyler Hoechlin to play Sephiroth, and he's Superman on Supergirl.
Yeah, the newest one.
Yeah,
that's
really,
funny.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say that the voices fit fine. Like I know that they.
I wanted the Advent Children voices.
Right,
though.
I know they nixed it, but they said they had their reasons, because it's like if you had the Garrett from the Advent Children, some of the stuff like the way that the character, at least this is from what I read, the stuff that Garrett himself as a character talks and says didn't sound right in his voice.
Okay.
So they're saying that those are reasons that they changed it, because of the fact that this remake's been worked on so long that apparently the voice work was done. They just decided, let's
redo it again,
and let's redo this again.
The things I'm waiting for though are unfortunately going to be in the second area of the game, like the casino area. I want to see how they render that. I want to see how they render the high wind. I really want to see.
Beautiful. I want to see how that plays out and everything too. But I mean, the most exciting thing we can get out of this one, outside of whatever new developments, is we get transgender Cloud.
I want to see the coastal city where they put the weapon from Midgar and they attach it there, where all the blast shields go up. I want to see that.
Right, and on top of that, what I want to mention completely unrelated is with the Tifa reveal. She had dialogue that was kind of like saying, like, I don't want to do any of this.
Mm-hmm.
I want nothing to do with this. Kind of felt like I'm trapped, like I'm stuck with it. Not something that ever happened in the first game.
Mm-hmm. Well, they fleshed out the characters and make them more.
So I'm just so excited because I'm like, man, this is literally it legit is a retelling.
It's like almost like a brand new game,
right? And
it feels like something you've played before.
Exactly.
But my biggest question was not answered. Since this is going to be a multi-part game, when are the second one and the next one going to come out?
Oh, we're years off.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to wait in March when we play this.
They're going to milk the shit out of the first game. I mean, you're going to get...
And if it does as good as I hope it does, and it painted out that it will be, I think it's going to be milked out. Because they even said it themselves, two things. One, they didn't clarify how many parts this is.
Yeah, there's no clarification.
Yeah, they said it themselves, like, that we're not even aware of how many parts this is.
We're going to do the full story as we want to.
Two, I suspect that the next part's going to be on PS5. Because that's
4 and 5.
Uh-huh. Right, because it's still in the life cycle, but it's not going to happen until after PS5 exists. That's what I'm trying to say. Which is going to be in the next year. Because it's definitely going to be a way to sell the new console.
Since they're doing backwards compatibility,
right?
That's not going to matter if you have you can buy the 5 and still play 4.
Exactly. So I think like from Mark's side, they're going to milk the hell out of it. But I'm going to tell you this: that the two, as sad as it sounds, I'm going to eat it all.
Oh, me too. I mean,
I'm already.
I already got the collector's first class edition with a nice statue of Cloud.
I'm not an impulsive buyer, and I bought that collection because I was just like, you know what, screw it. That figure looks awesome. I like all the artwork and everything that's coming with it.
And
I just plan on having.
I want the steelbook and everything with it. It's
the extra material you get.
And I've waited long enough that I'm like, you know, if they made these games earlier, I would have spent that much
money.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we've talked all we should talk about, we're an hour in and we haven't even made it out of the game stage. I think we should move on to comics.
We never even mentioned Stadia.
Stadia or anything either.
Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to move on?
Well, I mean, all I want to give on that.
I'm okay with talking about it because I'm actually, as a non-gamer, I'm interested in that platform.
He reviewed it. He looked it up and everything.
Yeah. To the point that I kind of want. Justin, do you understand it?
I don't even know what it is.
Okay, Emir, that's your cue.
Okay, so Stadia is Google's new gaming platform.
Okay. And
what's amazing about it is that it's all going to be streaming from the internet. So it's no console. You don't need a PC or anything to. All you need is a Chromecast.
Right.
And maybe their controller, because even their Chromecast supports standard controller use, but they recommend their controller because what makes it really dope is that they can stream it to you 720, they can stream 1080, they can go up to 4K. Whatever you want that game to look like, they'll make it work. The only thing is that there is a subscription model for 4K, and of course that's how they're making their money. But if, let's say, you stick to standard edition, you never touch it at all, you can still use 1080p Stadia at no additional charge to you. You're able to use your own controller, but the coolest part about this is that their controller. And I feel like they should have touched base on that when they're announcing it more, is the fact that their controller connects directly to the internet. So it's not connecting to the Chromecast or anything either. It's connecting to the internet, speaking directly to the server. Getting rid of every middleman, making that whole online streaming latency that exists, like with PlayStation Now and stuff too, from what they say, nearly obsolete. And I kind of believe it in the sense where if I had a great connection, the PS Now was great. If I was on Wi-Fi, PS Now kind of blew. You couldn't play a quick acting game. I'm excited about it. I think I want to try it out. The fact that I can play my game anywhere off of having a little peripheral or taking my console to a friend's house or anything, or even work. Again, I hope my boss is not listening. But I think it's amazing technology. I'm hoping that this just leads the wave to ongoing streaming where we drop all this. Like, you know, they drop PS5 and hoping to. They're like, you know what, we're streaming this. Everyone should have good internet anyways. The crazy thing, even if you have a 10 megabyte per second, which I know as far as Florida goes, nobody here has internet that's slow.
No.
Stuff too.
At least South Florida.
At least South Florida, right? 10 megabytes per second, like that too, will net you 720p too. But once you go past that, you can go into the 1080p or 4K, and it's going to render better than a top gaming PC because they're just pushing more of their processing power to handle it. So you're always going to get the best you can get for that. No stutter, no having to replace parts. You literally buy this controller, buy your game.
And that's it. It's basically a platform, a Chromecast, and a controller. Because everything is run on Google's end. So you could disconnect your thing, connect it to a fucking iPad. I'm pointing at my iPad right here in the room. A TV, a monitor that has nothing else. There is no hardware. Because there is no hardware. It is just Google's platform and a controller.
Yep. And then their goal is just to make it where anything that Chrome works on can play a game.
Right. So then what people are not seeing, Justin, is like, this is future-proof.
Yeah.
Anyone can come out with a new game. As long as it's on Stadia, you could play it. Fuck all if it's, 4K, 1080p, 8K. You could play the game on this platform without any hardware restrictions. And even as a non-gamer, I find that fucking exciting.
It's a lot better than buying a new $400 console.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Because again, Justin and I came into this almost hour-long E3 talk that Emir has led. And as almost somewhat non-gamers, that we only cared about
the games we wanted.
3 games.
Yeah. Right?
3 games does not, I don't think, would warrant to buy a whole new console. Right. For some people, yes, but not for others. And Emir, who is my roommate, essentially has seen me only play 2 games in the 2 years we've lived together. You get me?
Yeah, you don't need it.
So even being excited for 3 games is a lot. And that's saying if I even buy them and if I even play them.
Yeah.
So then to think of, I might have to fork over $300, $400, $500 for a new console
plus the game already discourages me. But if you give me this kind of platform, or then the next year or the following year that I'm excited for another 2 or 3 other games, and I don't have to worry about a console or another controller or any other thing, just the platform is free, at least it's 1080p, that's fucking incredible for me. Even the $10 a month membership that lets you do the 4K is pretty exciting.
Yeah, because you only would do it when you want to use it. It's
right.
Like a streaming service.
Right, and there is no contract, no nothing. You can turn it on and off.
And
just like Netflix.
And they did say that their subscription service is going to have additional benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's going to be free games, Justin. There's going to be the membership discounts on new games. Mm-hmm. And whatever you buy, and let's say you downgrade to the free base one, the 1080p, you'll get to keep the games that you bought.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Whatever you buy, you keep.
What's not answered is, what if you get something of one of the free ones?
Polygon.
Right?
Xbox and PlayStation, that's their model. I'm not sure if Google will have that as their model, but typically that's how that goes.
I think they're gonna let you keep it.
They might. Google's nice
because on top of the fact is, like, you were still a subscriber during that time period. You did exactly what they wanted you to do to get the free game. They're not gonna say we're taking those back.
You might not get any updates or DLCs for it, but who knows how they're gonna work that? Yeah. The thing that I'm interested about is Google is going to have their own gaming developers now. Like in-house Google first
that's
party.
That's what I want to see. They didn't announce anything of that.
So the question becomes: do you want to be an early adopter on this stuff?
Well, the only reason I say yes is because of the fact that the individual hardware pieces come out more to their early adapted price. Mm-hmm. So they're giving you a founder edition.
Yeah, but with every new piece of technology, there's bugs. So it takes at least 2 generations to get all the kinks worked out.
Again, that exists when we're talking about consoles. Any bugs or anything to it be on their server side, which will get fixed anyways. It's not going to change the hardware that they give you.
But what I'm saying is, this is a brand new technology. This is a brand new way of doing things. If you're an early adopter, you're going to adopt all the problems until they work them out.
Right.
So do you want to be an early adopter, or do you want to wait until this becomes, established?
Well, my whole thing is, me being the tinkerer, I'm okay with it. I just like the fact that the entry to early adoption is affordable. Because it's $130. You get a new controller customized to you. You get a 4K Chromecast, which it can be used for any purpose outside of the game. So you still get just a plain old nice Chromecast out of it,
which is expensive.
Which if you don't even play the game, you can still use it.
Right, you can still watch it.
Use it as a Chromecast.
Anything you want. On top of that, they give you this exclusivity of being able to give a name, because it sounds to me like they're going to have a naming system similar to Blizzard. And I don't know if any of you know this, but we can all have the same name, Robert, and it's just going to have a number tag at the end.
Right.
So they can differentiate. they're making it for anyone that gets a founder. Whatever name you pick, you just have the original. There's no numbers. So I can just be straight up Emir. It's a fun little thing that too. But if you're like,
it's a gamer
like
thing,
if you want to put yourself on leaderboards and stuff, it's pretty cool to be at the original. But on top of that, you get 3 months included of the 4K play, which if you take that away from the price means that you're only paying $100 for this. Where the controller itself is like $70.
You get a 3 months buddy
and
pass.
The Chromecast itself is at $60 on its own. So there's just a lot of saving for being an early adopter. And at that point, I feel like because of what you end up paying for it, since you're not paying full price, is up to that. Okay, you can deal with an issue or two if it arises.
Right, and especially those founder editions are going to be the guinea pigs because Justin, they come out November for the founders, and then the free base is not open for public until January next year. So basically, by January, any kinks that the founders, quote unquote, it's funny to call them that, the early adopters would have discovered, would have been ironed out by January.
Pretty sure that naming scheme was done on purpose.
Well, the whole thing is we're talking about Google here, and it's completely no, but that's my thing. I'm all for it because it's completely different from a game dev company that has the smaller resources. Google shits on any resource of any game.
Right. They have more money than all those companies combined.
But it doesn't really matter though. I mean, it's a technology company. Technology companies move at a snail's pace when it comes to bugs.
Not exactly.
I wouldn't even say Google.
Google had their phones, the Pixels. They had bugs when they first came out. They've apologized.
All I'm saying is I think November to January is wishful thinking on ironing out all problems.
I'm not saying all problems, but it's going to run smooth enough where people are going to want to be in. Okay. And if the games that
I'm just playing devil's
that are wanted, I understand. But if the games that people want are out,
I'm with Justin as the non gamer. I will wait till January for the free base one. I don't think the 4K one and pay membership is for me.
Everything's going to subscription now. So in another year or two, everything's going to be subscription. So you're going to have $10 going this way, $10 going this way, $10 going this way. Mm-hmm. So you're really going to need to evaluate where you want your subscriptions to go.
That's why I appreciate Google Stadia, the base allowing me up to 1080 for free.
Which is nice.
All I have to do is the Chromecast. Hell, I could use my Chromecast right now. The 1080p one.
You already have.
I don't have to buy the 4K one, and I still have an Xbox One. Right. So technically, I am 0, and I'm already in on Stadia, and that's it. To me, that's awesome.
The only thing I will say is you will need an adapter, right? So that way,
if you want to use a regular controller,
right,
for the non-drop one.
Dude, a price of an adapter cable.
Yeah. For
me to play on an actual gaming streaming service, that's incredible.
And again, this is just me being devil's advocate. I wonder how long before they start making games exclusive to subscription.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you can because you're buying the games. The way they're treating it, they're kind of like Steam. It's not that
they can still restrict your purchasing of it.
Well, I mean, to me, that would be silly because at that point, who's to stop the person from saying, "Fuck it, I'll buy it on Xbox. I'll buy it on PC."
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends on the way you want to look at it, though, because it becomes more like, do you want to spend the $10 to be able to buy this game now, or do you want to just, it depends.
Well, the way Google's saying they're doing it is that they're going to give you a discount. A discount's a decent incentive. $10 a month to have a 10% discount.
No, I'm thinking of the things
that business too. Like, I mean, Epic did some dirty stuff, but prior to Epic like that too, not a lot of companies went all out in doing this. Like if something was exclusive, you knew beforehand. It wasn't that they were ripping titles.
No. I'm not. I'm saying right now they're enticing you. They're giving you everything. They're saying, "Hey, come over to our side, play with us. We have all the cool toys." And then you're gonna jump in the pile and be like, "Oh, these cool toys!" And they say, "Okay, now all those cool toys over there, you gotta give us money to go over there now because you're already in here. So you need, that's what I'm saying. Because a lot of companies do that. A lot of companies, it's like the drug dealing mentality. First hit's free. The next hit, you gotta pay for it. Right. So I'm me being the man I am. I'm always waiting for that ball to drop, even for something, especially like this, that looks too good to be true.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing is at that point we just got to sit and play it out. The only thing is, I just think it's only going to hurt them because considering the kind of market where you have so much competition already and you're trying to be the highlight standout, you don't want to come out good and then go to that.
To me, this sounds amazing. I think this
honestly, it's kind of what got Epic ripped to shreds to the point where now they Metro's for everything now. But they learned that in the end, it kind of got them bad publicity. They were kind of doing this in the sense where like, you can only play this game here. And what did it do? And sure, people still bought it on there, but a lot of people, in the sense, naturally went to boycott. Like, well, fuck it, I'm not playing that game. and it hurt the developer. It hurt Epic. Now the developer's pissed at Epic.
It was counterintuitive.
Yeah, and now they're both like, well, shit, maybe we shouldn't have done this. It's just like, it is hard to do things like that when you have so much competition.
In a world where there's people sitting here thinking of ways to help everybody, there's always a few people standing behind and say, how can we hurt everybody?
Right. And then the crazy part is Epic normally is great about these things. So the whole reason we have the Unreal Engine that all these great games run on. So I'm just like, why would you tarnish your great name by doing something this petty?
Sounds great. I didn't know anything about it, and I'm sold on it. I mean, it sounds amazing.
And I saw you on your phone. You saw the list they already got at launch.
Oh yeah.
All those games, and they also included I think it was the majority, like a huge percentage of the ET presentation. So most of the games that Emir already just talked about will also be available on Stadia.
All right.
Yeah. To me, that's again incredible.
Yeah.
And then for now, I'm going to be an early adapter, just because again, I'm a tinkerer. I want to understand it beforehand. But I'm only getting single player games because, like everyone's questioning, I don't expect a lot of my friends to jump on it until there's enough reason to. So I just want games that I can take anywhere and play with me.
And I'm all for losing the consoles. The console was
hell yeah.
Like,
that was my main thing for not jumping onto anything.
I get excited when people say PS5. That makes me happy. But then I think, I have $500 PS5 out.
Right.
Yeah.
That has limitations. With the cloud streaming service, it can play any game that a developer wants to pump out.
No, and at the same rate,
you're only limited by how strong your internet is.
$500 still sounds hopeful because considering the technology they're talking about these next consoles having, I see them being computers at this point.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, at this point, I think it's going to start bringing that divide of people like that were anti-PC gaming. They realize it's like, wait, I used to buy consoles because they were cheaper than the PC. Now you're telling me there's like a $200 difference. Shit.
And my games last longer than PC.
No, hell, then that $10 subscription for Stadia starts looking really good.
Especially that on top of that.
Yeah.
So the big question, I guess, would be how fast did they talk about how fast games were going to come out for Stadia as opposed to when they're released? Because somebody was saying day and date.
For PC and console.
Well, what they
Stadia, they're treating Stadia like another PC platform.
Right. Another console.
Yeah.
Right, they want to be treated independent, but essentially such. But they said that they're planning on going on day off. So of course, like these developers, that if this exists, you can get it on Stadia.
Right. And we're not talking about like another random gaming studio, no name. This is Google. You get me? So this is a huge game player coming to your poker table, and everyone's like looking out.
They're shoving people out of the way.
Exactly.
And talking about the last thing I want to mention and stuff, because I don't know any of you that were D&D fans, but this was a game of me not even being a D&D fan. I enjoyed it. Baldur's Gate 3 got dropped and announced, and Stadia was the one to drop and announce it, and such too. That this is going to be one of our flagship games that come out with it.
Cool.
It's a cool concept dungeon runner that you have complete control. Someone can build a dungeon, you work it all out. I think it's cool. I think that the fact that they have their interests is apparently they already have a lot of deals worked out with companies. So I think Google really thought ahead here.
All right.
The real answer comes once it drops.
Yeah. We just gotta wait and see now.
I'll let you know how I feel when the time comes.
All right.
I'll find out January when the free base one is available.
Okay.
It's just because think about it this way, Justin. The Founders is November. That's my busiest because I'm, my wedding, honeymoon, and then I come back. It's the holidays in December, birthday, Christmas, New Year's. So by the time I get around to having time to play, it's January anyway.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to be all that into it until probably then anyways.
Right. And then Cyberpunk.
But I will say this, I was looking at the pre-order like, maybe I want a pre-order.
Yeah. And two things already legit saying that they're going to be on Stadia is Cyberpunk and Avengers.
All right.
The only one that's iffy for some reason is Jedi. But EA has partnered with
they already partnered with it, so
that's what could be a huge release for them in November.
Yeah.
So basically, the only games you probably won't be getting are Nintendo-based ones because Nintendo keeps their own shit to themselves.
Yep. Right.
All right.
But again, I came into this conversation with 3 in mind, and those 3 are going to be on Stadia. Fuck it, for free. I get to play them, whatever.
Play them for free.
Buy the game, but free platform and no need for a new console. It's incredible.
All right.
And play at optimum quality.
Yeah.
So, moving on to comics.
Finally.
Yeah. I assume we're just going to push through this. We're about an hour and 15 minutes in. I know you were looking. So, I read up on this Vertigo shutting down news. Apparently, what they want to do is they want to focus more on their black label for now. They didn't indicate that they were going to shut down Vertigo.
Wait, meaning because of the partner of DC being the parent, they want like those creative teams to move to the black label?
No, what they're saying is like they're not going to be. What I was reading, the way I read it was they're not sure if they're going to shut down Vertigo, but the idea is that for more mature-based readers and everything like that, which is what Vertigo was for, they're going to focus more on the black label on that. So you're going to see a lot more comics coming out under the DC imprint of the black label.
Black label, right.
So
like Batman Damned.
Yeah. So things that might have been earmarked for... Yeah, things that might be earmarked for Vertigo you might see released under the black label instead of... Because I think the idea is to keep everything under one brand.
Right.
One DC brand, rather than have everything split up. If they shut down Vertigo gave us some of the best comics in the last 20, 30 years. So I'm completely
Watchmen.
upset. Yeah, Watchmen. No, Watchmen wasn't Vertigo. No, that was DC. But Swamp Thing, Swamp Thing moved over.
V for Vendetta.
Preacher, Why the Last Man.
Yeah, Why the Last Man and Preacher. That's right.
Lucifer, Sandman especially.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman Sandman.
Yeah. So,
which Sandman is making a comeback now.
But it's still under the Vertigo though. Still under the Vertigo. So yeah, you can't really separate Vertigo from Sandman. I think until they start saying DC Black Label on that, I don't know.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to talk about, which I'm really excited for because it was confirmed.
Shit, we all are.
Fucking Phantasm is being brought into the DC world, DC Comics world.
And
I know the was released.
An animated character crossing over to...
that's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, second one.
Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was animated first.
Right.
But Phantasm was introduced on Tom King's
will be
Twitter.
Introduced.
Well, they introduced the idea that he was coming on Tom King's Twitter feed to be part of the Batman Catwoman comic. So he's going to introduce the Phantasm character. Whether or not it's Andrea Beaumont,
right,
or if they're going to do something like they did with the Arkham Knight,
right,
we don't know. But right now, all I care about Phantasm coming to Batman.
And Tom King confirmed on the Entertainment Weekly that his kind of canned ending for his run on the Batman character, the proper,
he's still going to do it.
He's doing it with the Batman Catwoman comic.
He still wants to change the character for a generation.
And it's going to be 12 miniseries all next year. So it'll be starting January and he'll finish in December.
72 is crazy.
I read 71.
72 is.
I read 77. No, I read 72.
Okay.
With him fighting Bane.
Right.
That was good.
So you don't really know what's going on.
Well, that whole story, like the beginning, you're like trying to figure out who's narrating it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then at the end, you find out it's Dad. So it's
Is
Tom's
Dad
Wayne.
just trashing him at the end?
Yeah, it's like, how can I help?
I was like, whoa. Okay.
So let's get into the comic picks.
Okay.
Kevin, you wanted to talk about Spider-Man 22 and Leviathan Rising?
I guess just for time, I'd rather talk about Leviathan Rising. Amazing Spider-Man 22, it's the end of the Hunted arc with Kraven the Hunter and whatnot. But Spider-Man 23 that came out yesterday, which I will read, is the Aftermath. So I kind of want to do a twofer with that.
Okay.
So I don't mind doing that. So I really did want to get you guys' reactions with the Leviathan Rising. So Leviathan Rising is Brian Michael Bendis' prologue to his event Leviathan summer event that he's going to do for DC Comics this summer. So the prologue is it's really fucking messy. So it starts with like a side story and then it gets to the good meaty story. And then in the middle, there's like a Jimmy Olsen romance trip. It's fucking weird. But I'm going to exclude all the fluff and only give you the killer, not the filler. So the killer, the meat of what actually happens is, okay, Superman sees that people are waiting to kidnap him at the apartment, and he's telling Lois. Lois is like, oh, they're for me. And he's like, no, for some reason, I think they're after me. So he flies off. She's like, what are you going to do? So he's like, I'm going to follow the story. He's thinking reporter first.
Well,
So
Leviathan is supposed to involve all the detectives.
But this prologue gets really interesting toward the end with all the detective stuff. So he goes and he fake acts, and it's funny because Lois tells him, oh, please don't pretend because they're going to know you're faking with her. And he's like, no, I don't think they know who I am. I don't think they know I'm Superman. I think they're legitimately at our apartment to kidnap me, Clark Kent, not Superman. So he goes as Clark Kent, fake acts like, oh no. And then like, and it's funny because one tases him and they're like, what is he doing? And they're like, I don't know. I've never been tased before. And he's like, oh. It's so funny. It's so good. So whatever. So he gets kidnapped. And then it's for some reason revealed that the people that kidnapped him are being led by Talia al Ghul. And you're like, what the fuck? And then she's talking to him, not as Superman, as Clark. And she's like, we know you know Superman. Hopefully he shows up because now you have a story to tell. And he's like, what the fuck? So they strap a kryptonite vest on him. So when Superman shows up, Superman is weakened. So then now Clark is stuck. And he's like, oh, fuck, I can't even pretend anymore.
I messed up.
Yeah. So then they're like, wait, so why are you getting all sweaty? So then he's like, fuck, I can't show them I'm Superman getting weakened by the kryptonite of the vest that they just strapped for Superman to show up. And it's this crazy, awesome miscommunication. Lois like yells to him, like she's like, all right, I'm going to bed. Hello? Like, cause of course he has hearing for her and she gets worried. She's like, oh fuck, like he's not coming. So she calls the Justice League and I love like, it's narrated by Batman clearly. And he's like, as soon as you ring this bell, it cannot be unrung. So he alerts all the Justice League. So everyone gets involved of Superman has been kidnapped. We have to go get him. And Lois is like, no. You guys are going about this all wrong. Clark Kent was kidnapped, not Superman. You cannot go in there or go searching for Superman. They don't know he's Superman. So, of course, Batman's like, oh, okay, don't worry, like, we got this, whatever. So, of course, everyone goes off, and Lois is like, whatever. So then the rest of the story is her detective working, and she finds Clark. So I'm thinking this prologue is going to end with that. No, it ends with...
Wait.
She finds him
before Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. No,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
The world's greatest detective.
Right.
He overthought it.
Right. That's exactly how Bendis like goes about it. Of like he overthinks it of looking for villains and people after the Justice League.
That's not that.
But Lois Lane is like, no, it's Clark. So she finds him, and then in this aftermath with actual Leviathan and Talia al Ghul, he's like, why did you have to involve the alien? So you're like, oh fuck, so Leviathan knew, and Talia's like taken aback and like I forget what she rebukes, but it's to the vein of like, but now he has to get involved. He has to side with us, something like that. And he's like, no, now you have forced my hand, and now more plans have been preemptively revealed because of you. So he throws her out of this like mechanical blimp thing.
That's her base of blimp.
Yeah, like a giant like mechanical blimp ship. Like that's what it's like a ship. Think of it like a helicarrier, but like it's round.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
But it ends with Superman saving her in midair, and then having to let Leviathan go to take Talia back to like arrest her and whatever. So then she could answer like, who the fuck is Leviathan? What is happening?
Talia's smarter than this.
He goes to Bruce, hey, handle your lightweight.
But it ends there, and it's like, what is happening? And it's with other mysteries that all other detectives are involved, and that's like interconnected with Lois Lane's investigation of Leviathan, and Clark now having to reveal that some plot happened because he was in fact kidnapped, and it was like I think like a whole 2 or 3 days or something like that.
I just feel Talia's smarter than this. She would have figured that out quicker.
The whole showcase of Leviathan is that she is steps ahead of everyone.
Yeah, I get it.
And that apparently knows everyone's identity somehow. So, like, I think, because I've already read some subreddit theories that people are suggesting that it's a human character that we already know, but we just cannot expect.
It's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy is shown in the... He's shown in the comics.
Okay, it's Perry then.
Well, maybe not at the
Jimmy,
same
they
time.
showed him to throw you
He's
off.
just going down the list.
It's
Okay, it's
true.
not Perry, it's
Maybe.
Crypto. No, it's not Crypto. It's
It's his dad.
it's Martha Kent.
It's
No, all right.
It's Jonathan Kent. They
It's
bring him
Jonathan.
back.
It's the neighbors. What was the neighbor's family name?
Clark.
It's that, whatever.
But to me, the way it played out was really cool. My favorite, of course, was when they strapped the kryptonite vest to him.
Yeah, it's Clark Kent.
To me, it was so good.
And then the vet Leviathan is supposed to involve all the detectives. So it's Batman, it's Green Arrow,
And it's also
Lois.
and it came out yesterday.
Question?
So number 1 yesterday, and it's a miniseries, so it's 6
That
issues.
question?
Well, the question, yes.
Question is in it, yeah.
I thought you had a question.
No.
Me too.
Question.
Is Bobo in
Yes.
it?
What?
Detective
Give me
Chimp?
Bobo or give me death.
Hey, they
Detective
said,
Chimp?
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe. I don't
yeah.
know.
They said all
He's the
detectives-
world's greatest detective, believe it or not.
No, he's not Batman.
No, they said it.
I
No,
know they
They
said
said it.
Batman said Bobo was.
it. I know.
You
You
take
can't
that?
say no to a chimp.
Yes, you can.
Peanuts.
Especially an alcoholic one.
Especially an alcoholic.
Humor.
So yeah, so that was my pick just because it intrigued the hell out of me, and I'm excited now for Event Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good way to get you excited for it.
I read War of Realms 5. I read a lot more than that, but War of Realms 5 probably stood out the most.
Yes.
Wasn't the best issue of the run, but there were things that happened, and in the interest of time, I'll just give you the highlights.
It was weird that kept interconnecting with the then and now.
Yeah.
Which was very confusing.
Yeah, because the other issues didn't do that.
No. So you have a seed of Yggdrasil in the sun, and it's growing, and Thor decides he's going to repeat what his father did, because in the old stories, Odin nailed himself to Yggdrasil for 3 days without food or water.
9 days.
9 days, I'm sorry.
9 days and 9 nights.
And without food or water or anything to gain wisdom. So in order to find a way to beat Malekith, Thor is going to do the same thing. He's going to nail himself to Yggdrasil, which is growing out of the sun, which I believe is the same sun that Mjolnir stuck in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's the sun that Asgardia was destroyed in.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So you have that, and then you have the revelation that Odin and Freya are still alive. They did not die, but they are being used as pawns to
Lord Odin.
Lord Thor.
Thor, yeah.
Okay, and the only other thing you really need to pull out of this issue is you have All-Mother Jane Foster
Love that title.
deciding that there must always be a Thor, which she said over and over again.
Mhm.
So she picks up the destroyed Ultimate Universe Thor's hammer and starts to transform, but we don't know what she's transforming into.
Right.
And it was destroyed, and the pieces are starting to come back together. So
I think she's turned into like another Valkyrie.
well, the idea is that she might be turning into her Thor persona, but a War Thor themed version of
Or
it.
an all-mother
When like
type Thor.
when Volstagg became War Thor,
Mhm.
like he was changed. So this persona might lead into her becoming Valkyrie, using this ability to become the new
Yes.
Valkyrie.
That's what I mean.
But she still entered into this thing saying, there must always be a Thor. And then the only other minor thing I want to mention is that there is a new member of the Warriors 3 taking over for Volstagg, and it is Wolverine.
How
Yes.
amazing.
Can we keep him? That was my favorite line. The only thing I read was War of Realms 1 through 5 to catch up, just because once I picked it up, I couldn't stop. And
So good.
it was just fantastic. All the quips, everyone going back and forth, all
And
the separate
you
teams.
love Boulder and was it Boulder?
Yes,
And the
Balder.
Vulture.
And the Hell Charger.
Yes.
And he's like, it's trying to kill me. I love it.
That's so
I'm
good.
like, Jesus.
The thing that cracked me up, and just because I just thought it was so silly, was the War Machine doors with Iron Man.
Yes. Those
Yes.
are great.
I thought it was just so cool because they're like, "What's 3:00?"
We tell time by Moss. Just follow me, guys.
So then now, how without the Black Bifrost, how was Malekith able to teleport to
Back by
Headstone?
The back by Frost.
But how it was
his.
but it was exploded.
They destroyed it.
Yeah, they destroyed it. So
So
how did
Malekith
he?
still has dark magic, though.
Yeah, it's
The Black Bifrost was made to transport large groups of people to different places they needed to be.
Like armies.
armies.
Malekith was still able to move between the realms, much like Loki still be able to move between the realms. So he could go wherever he needs to go, and he could take. But he can't be the person who's taking everybody everywhere.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
he did transport the people from his home, like Freya and Odin, back with him.
But
So he has a radius.
He had the Black Bifrost created so he could send multiple groups of people to different places, and he didn't have to do it himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has some power for
He
transport.
still got access to black magic that he could do that.
Okay, I'm alright with that.
So you're moving off the Heroes in Crisis pick.
Uh,
That was your pick. Was Heroes in Crisis number 9?
yeah, you're right. I'm moving off of it. War of Realms was absolutely
Damn,
fantastic.
but I really thought we should have talked about Heroes in Crisis, especially that you said that you were iffy on the ending.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Well, what question did you have? Or iffy on it?
Just
What
kind
were-
of, just kind of.
It fizzled out for you?
Yeah.
Was it like a
Just kinda-
firecracker?
I will say I am excited for the fact that they are releasing a miniseries for Wally coming out, which is supposed to talk about his life after.
Yeah.
So I am excited for that.
You're still.
But it
thinking about-
just seemed like a huge build up for Heroes of Crisis 9, and then when you get to the end, it was just like
It's meant to be more of a psychological, like, you know.
yeah, I know, but it just
that
kind of
thing.
it just fizzled out. It didn't.
You were expecting something more grand.
I was just expecting something more interesting.
It's just it's essentially a story about PTSD, and it ended with like, yeah, there is no resolution to PTSD and grief. You just have to fucking deal with it.
And there are
So that's
people
why
there.
I thought the ending was beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought it was just so
poetic.
interesting because we're seeing the cycle of, from our perspective, is Booster Gold's perspective of Flash is going forward, killing the future one, bringing that body to the present, and leaving that body there. I'm
It
like,
just-
okay, there's no dealing with what I did. I just died. And what Tom King is putting in the forefront is you have grief, you have PTSD, you did something horrible. Now you have to live with it. You have to cope with it. Death is the easy way out. So that's why I thought the ending was fucking awesome.
All
Yeah.
I'm saying is, I 1 through 8, I didn't have a problem with. 1 through 8, I read cover to cover. At the end of the book, it's like, all right, waiting for the next issue. This is great. I understand what's going on. Get to the end of number 9. I go, what the fuck did I just read? It was just like I had no idea what. It would literally, it seemed like written by a completely different person because I got to. I mean, like I said, 1 through 8. I'm reading the book. I know what I'm dealing with. All right, this is where we're standing. This is where we stand. We're going to the next issue. This is where we stand. We're going to the next issue. Got to the end of this issue. I'm like, I don't even know what happened in this issue.
Yeah, I told George I read it front to back twice, and I read the ending 2 more times. So I essentially read the ending 4 times.
Maybe that.
But I think
helps.
it's, you know what it is? I think sci-fi and time travel is not Tom King's forte. Because you could clearly tell
It was a little mushy.
from the incident and then the investigation of 5 days and then this, it didn't need to be 9 issues. He elongated it because he wanted to talk about the PTSD, the grief, what it means psychologically to be a superhero. He had other things to talk about than the time travel stuff.
Yeah.
Because I have to admit, as a fan of sci-fi and time travel, he did play a lot like really fast and loose with it. So to
Super
the point
loose
that
with
like
it.
he didn't really explain it. And I told George, what confused me, Justin, maybe it was what confused you, when the future one confronts the one that just did the incident, that just killed those people, the one that just killed the people, takes off his mask and cries. The future one that lived through those 5 days consoles him and tells him all this awesome advice for essentially Tom King talking to other PTSD people, going through grief, having suicidal thoughts and all this and that. But the ending is confusing because then the one that resolves everything is then the one with the mask. And then the one without a mask is the one that goes to jail. But it's implied that the one in jail, even though it's without the mask, is the future one, is the one 5 days later.
It's
So
the present day one because we're already
I'm
5 days
confused
later.
now.
No, it's something was maybe lost in translation with the art because the one that takes off the mask is the past one.
Yeah, they try to separate them for that scene so that way you knew which one was which, present day versus past.
Yeah.
But then when they show you the scene in the cell, which was, again, it was played very loosely with the time travel.
Yeah.
But, Booster Gold can fix that and make a quick
Yeah.
clone. It was super loosely done.
That's why it's like
it does
Tom King
go
had no interest in explaining time travel mechanics.
Yeah, we did that last year for my birthday. Like, they kept waving Booster Gold
You're
stuff
right.
off. And it was just a little like, okay, I get it, Tom King.
So
you're
that's
not
like the
sci-fi.
gripe I had with the book, essentially the problem of the series because it didn't it explained all this thematical stuff more than the plot.
All right. One of the things I will mention is that I was reading an article today that said a lot of those confessionals that you saw were reintroducing characters that have not existed since before New 52.
Yeah,
So this was also Tom King's way of bringing back a lot of the characters
makes sense.
that haven't
Like
existed
Steel?
for a long time. Yeah.
Captain
Shot,
Nemesis.
Captain Steel, Nemesis.
Yeah. So
Hot shot.
I could have shown Hot Shot was made up because
Was
a
he made up?
lot of them were made up.
I like the fact that they had two things that I really like about the confessionals were the Robins and their
The
confessionals.
Robins in this final issue was really
Because
awesome.
I saw the first one. I think the first one's Tim.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get it. I've always felt that way for Tim. He doesn't know who he is. And then I see Dix.
Yeah.
Or Rick, if you want to. And it's just like, wait, he doesn't know who he is either. He's like the most iconic. He grew out of Batman's shadow. He's Nightwing. But wait, he's still lost? And then you see...
Well, if you read Batman 72, you get that feeling because did you read Batman 72?
No.
In Batman 72, he's calling all the people, all his family to him. And actually, it's not even him; it's Batgirl that's doing it.
Right.
Batgirl's calling all because Batman goes and does a red bat signal. Red bat signal means I need
Bat
help.
family.
Yeah.
Bat family. So she starts calling everybody, and she calls Rick.
Yeah, Dick.
His name is Rick.
Calls Dick. He's like, "Look, I know you're dealing with stuff, but he needs us." He says, "It's not who I am right now." I'm like, "All right, this is fuck this. This is not even the character."
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
It's because that's the one thing you can always count on with Dick.
Dick will show.
Dick is the only one out of all
Always.
the Robins that has been officially, well, I don't know if it's still canon, but it wasn't at one time. It was officially adopted by Bruce Wayne. He is his son.
I think it's still official.
So he is his son.
Yeah.
And he goes, nah, I ain't going to deal with this right now. Fuck you.
He's going through his own shit.
I don't give a fuck.
But then you have Jason with his thing, and even Damian has a confession.
Well, the cool thing about Jason in the confession, or actually in the 72, which it's actually 72, it's funny. He's like, look, I ain't going either, but tell him I got a new crowbar. I'm going to show his ass.
Yeah.
That's funny. But I like the Damien one because he's like, I'm
fine. Did he say something?
Yeah, and that's my first little tag of what his confessional is. It's like, I'm fine. Why? What did they say?
Yeah,
because he's all about comparing himself.
Not only comparing it's his image.
He doesn't have his own. Yeah, he doesn't have
He's
his own.
just a Robin.
Yeah,
he's just the same thing with Tim Drake. He's just a Robin.
Well, Tim Drake has made a name for himself though as being something more than just Robin.
I know, but in Tim Drake's mind.
But here's the thing though. But Tim has always been the one out of all the Robins that have always said, "I don't want to do this forever.
Yeah,
I want to eventually stop being Robin and do something else."
Yeah.
So he actually has an idea of how far he wants to go.
Which still breaks my heart because he got stuck as Red Robin, and it's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And then Sideways. I'm sorry. One more confessional. You got to give it to me.
Go ahead.
Sideways.
The Sideways one, I lost my mind.
They slid in Sideways for one panel, and if you haven't read the little 12 issue Sideways series that got canceled, eventually, spoilers, his mother dies, and in the one panel he speaks about it, and it is such a heartbreaking moment in the actual comic.
Yeah,
and
it's
how he
tear-jerky.
walks up, because he misses the funeral because he's off planet, he's off dimension. So doing shit, trying to save stuff and trying to be a hero. He gets back his bunch of voicemails. His stepfather, his adopted father, is super upset with him.
Yeah, because he missed the funeral of his adopted
and
mother.
then when his mother died, he was supposed to meet her up. If he would have met her up, she would have been dead.
Yeah.
So his little one panel, 3 or 4 bubble confessional just ripped the wound back open.
It did.
And I was just like, oh, can we get more Sideways again?
All right.
I know. I'm passionate about it.
Joe, your pick.
You picked Savage Avengers
Savage
too?
Avengers.
Now, why? I know why, because I read it.
It's fucking awesome.
It
That's why.
was great.
Well, I didn't read it, so tell me why it's awesome.
It was a good book.
So it's Wolverine trying to save dummy brother Voodoo from dying.
I loved how he did it. Too.
No, he dies.
He died.
Oh yeah, he dies.
He brings him back, but
He cuts his hand open and uses his mutant blood to start massaging.
Well, he was
his
trying to
heart.
put the heart back in first. He's like, this ain't working.
Jesus.
Fuck it.
They went a little R-rated there.
It worked?
what I like is Wolverine stops because he's like, whatever, it's not working. So he quits.
Yeah. And then he wakes up.
And he just starts killing ninjas. And then Brother Voodoo wakes up.
Yeah.
That's so
But then
cool.
he's bro, they were outmatched though. There was fucking thousands of hands.
Yeah, there was a bunch of
There's
hand
always
ninjas.
a bunch of hands.
But Wolverine couldn't take all of them. He looked like a pincushion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and, then,
that's true.
and you get the story of the first student
ghost.
of that wizard.
That wizard guy, yeah.
Who was a World War II pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
fought
he grabbed,
Dunkirk.
but they were saying, I read somewhere where he was a Conan villain in an older Conan book.
Maybe.
The
Maybe.
wizard. I don't know,
But
that's
he's
what
not
I said.
now because Conan doesn't recognize him, but he still steals the amulet, the serpent amulet.
Right, and he hits him with it.
Yeah.
So-
And then he leaves, but they need the amulet to focus their god to bring him back.
He's just there just to steal shit.
Yeah, that's all he's saying. Because
Conan-
they didn't tell you.
Conan just wants shit.
Yeah, they even tell you. It's like the only reason why he was lured here is because he heard of an amulet that he
Right, he wanted it.
Yeah. And then he comes across Wolverine in the first issue, which was great.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
best.
He
Fight was nice.
he just slams a sword into Wolverine's head. It stops in his skull because of the adamantium. He's like, yeah,
It's
that usually
awesome.
doesn't work on me.
It's not, and of all places, they land in like this like alcohol cellar.
Yeah.
And then like they look at each other and they just start drinking.
Yeah.
When they're like they fucked each other up.
Those are the two, I think, greatest characters you could pin together.
Yeah, it's so
Let's see.
good.
But
I'm ready for
somehow,
next.
but the one thing about this issue that was weird is that somehow the sorcerer's already got the Venom symbiote because he uses it to he smashes the glass on his face and it's
Conan he grabs the jar and
He was
smashes
stuck
it.
in there. The symbiote was stuck in
Yeah.
this like box.
Yeah, I don't think
Weird.
we ever got how it got.
Well,
a
in
hold of the
Venom,
symbiote.
in the Venom comic, the symbiote has been separated from Eddie Brock,
Right.
but the symbiote goes off on its own. You don't know what's happened to it yet.
What my understanding with the symbiote is, doesn't it not take form until it wraps around you?
No.
No, it's still got the face. It's still got
Yeah,
the
it
face.
still has a
okay.
face.
Because I'm like, he looks like Venom.
But then my favorite moment was like the hand talking to the wizard. They're like, "Oh, we finally lured the last one last year that we need the blood of whatever, Frank Castle." And then you think it's gonna be this spectacular entrance, and you just see the skull and the panel zooms out. And it's Frank, and he's drunk.
Yeah.
and he just falls forward.
Yeah.
It's so
Another
good.
drunk.
No, he says, "Where's my family?"
Yeah, he says, "Where's back?" But then he just falls forward
Oh,
because
that's
he's drunk.
okay.
But he C4'd a shitload of ninjas before that.
Oh yeah. He falls forward, and the ninjas are looking at him. And he's got a. Oh god, what is that called? An anti-personnel mine. When it says face this way forward,
Yeah.
he's got it on his back, and they're looking at it and go, "What is that?" Click.
Yeah, so it
it's
explodes
not realistic,
outward.
but fuck it.
Just a bunch of hand ninjas.
So the hand, are these guys related to the foot from Ninja Turtles?
Oh,
It's the other way
Could be.
around.
And then Rick and Morty
The
does
hand
the
was
butt.
started first.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I had to.
And then it's legit. The hand was started first, and then when Eastman did
right.
Teenage
He
Mutant Ninja
went to
Turtles,
them.
he created the foot as a parody of the hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now
A
we
little
need-
tidbit.
DC needs to make the elbows. So we're good. Make a
hands,
No,
feet, and elbows.
I'm ready for Rick and
knee.
Morty. Rick and Morty's
The
gonna do
ears.
their own. Like the Vindicators, they're gonna do their own. They're gonna
The face.
the butt.
The butt.
The butt.
We named the League of Assassins to the League of Elbows, and then we're good.
The League of Flying Knees.
The League of Ass.
The League of Ankles.
League of Ankles.
Okay, it was great.
It was a good issue.
Sounds right.
Very good. We can't wait for the next issue.
Amir should be reading comics soon, so he'll have something to say here. That's what you said.
I said I plan to. Don't put that pressure on me.
If anything, Emir should just be reading Conan. It's literally just a fighter that steals shit, fucks girls, and just fights to the death all the time.
Read Shredder in Hell. It's pretty
That's in my alley.
Conan is great.
Relatable.
good. No, Conan's great.
Months ago, I never would have thought that I'd be reading not one. I'm reading both Conan books because both are fucking awesome.
Not me.
I never thought I'd read a Marvel book, but here I am. War of the Realms. It's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Moving on to TV.
TV.
Did we you guys watch? I didn't watch the trailer for Jessica Jones season 3.
I watched it.
I did it. It looks good. It looks dark.
It looks better than season 2, to be honest.
It does. Because I didn't care about exploring her origin.
Once David Tennant left the show, I was like,
He was the best thing, man.
Yeah.
He was awesome in season
Great.
1.
It was a
But
great
season
show.
3 looks like it's returning to that tone of season 1 where it looks fucked up.
I'm pretty sure they knew they were ending their season at that point, so they probably went all out on this last season. So,
It seems like it's okay. So the basic premise of Jessica Jones season 3 looks like from this trailer, because I don't know, I'm not some Marvel insider. I don't know what's going on. It looks like some kind of overly obsessed serial killer knows people close to Jessica Jones, so he knows he can't take her head on since superpowers. He's then obsessing and what's the word? Stalking
and-
her friends and family and stuff like that.
okay, I got one question. How much Hellcat is in this? Because if it's more than a little, I'm out.
I don't know. I only saw.
we don't know.
I only saw her briefly.
Fucking hate Hellcat.
She was in there for a moment, and she was obnoxious. She was like, "I can take care of myself."
Yeah.
That was the one downside of fucking season 1 of Jessica Jones.
Oh, she was worse in season 2.
Her and fucking and Nuke taking over the middle of the season. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, get the fuck.
You didn't
out
like
of
her
here.
in season 1.
You would have hated her. in season
Enjoy
2.
season 2 if you ever watch it.
So apparently they're moving on to the next thing. The original creators of the X-Men animated series cartoon from the 90s have been approaching Disney to try and continue the series.
I'm all for that.
Wait,
Yeah.
continue it?
Continue.
Yes.
So are we just
Continue.
gonna have that awesome guitar riff for an intro? Is that what we're getting?
I hope so.
We'll
It
see.
better.
I give a shit about the intro.
I-
wanna see where it goes.
Okay, so you like it. You like this idea.
Yes.
How
Oh,
do you
yeah.
feel?
Oh, I love
Does
this.
he like this?
I hope we pick up of like, yes, Xavier went with Lalandra to space.
Exactly.
And now the X-Men are like, okay, what do we do now?
Which way
Because that's
do
how
we
the
go?
series
I
ended.
hope they
Which way do
open.
we go?
It's been 20 years. We're still here.
Wait, Justin has that face.
No. I love the original series. I grew up on it. It was my show.
I'm wearing the shirt.
The thing
That's true,
you
you
are wearing the
Joe
shirt.
is wearing a shirt.
The thing that always bugged me about the show though was there was never any growth, never any evolution. Team never changed. It was always the same 5 characters every fucking week.
Well,
And then they would introduce a new one and go, "Oh, this is exciting!" And then by the end of the episode, they were gone.
Yeah, they would just leave.
Yeah.
Sounds like
it
a
was the
movie.
90s. The 90s were different than now.
That's true.
But they want to recreate. They want to do the show the exact same way.
But I'm sure they're gonna add some modernizing
No,
to
man.
it.
They need to do what Young Justice has done. Give me growth. Let them literally, physically grow up.
The way I read this doesn't excite me because if all they're going to do is recreate the original cartoon and continue going forward, I've got the original cartoon. I don't need to see
Right.
it again.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine that.
I'm sure
But
they
if
have
they're
to
going to change it up and actually have characters join the
and
X-Men
evolve.
and have it evolve, because I mean, when you watch the show, you had characters like Colossus came in,
Yeah.
original members, in for one episode, out for one episode.
Yeah, and it pissed me off because I love
Archangel.
Colossus.
He came in. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
Angel came in, started as Angel, became Archangel, had a couple episodes as Archangel,
And
and was
gone.
in and gone.
Love.
You know, same thing. I mean, all these characters that you know and love. I mean, you really have to be attached to Cyclops, Jean Grey, Gambit. You know, you have to be
Storm.
attached to these characters because that's all you're going to get week in and week out.
So,
Now, my question is, are they going to bring back the original voice actors?
no.
I don't know that.
Because there really, to me, is only one Wolverine,
Yeah,
and it's that Wolverine.
it is. And that Gambit.
And that can't.
The game did it. Yeah, that was a great game.
Like I can take. It's going to be weird, but I can take them changing the other voices. And the other thing they need to do is they need to ditch Jubilee. Like
Yeah,
whoever
of course.
thought she. I mean, above Shadowcat. Come on, but okay, fine. 90s.
You know who disappeared from that show for a long time? Multiple Man?
Jimmy Maddox.
Yes. I remember him being in the beginning. Disappearing.
No, that was more.
Morph, which wasn't an original character.
Right.
It was a
Right.
character created for the show.
Right.
Yeah.
And he died.
Just-
And he dies.
Yeah,
he dies,
he dies
and then-
tragically.
He dies and then comes
he
back.
dies, and then Wolverine has a homosexual experience about his picture. And
That's the famous.
Yes, that's that meme.
yeah, it was just really, yeah. So it was shocking when I first saw it, where he's sitting there rubbing the picture, going, "Whoa!"
But that's your Wolverine, so you know.
But it is my Wolverine because he had one of the best lines when they finally do the Department H storyline, where they go back and they show how Wolverine became Wolverine, and you have the general who hooked him up and everything like that. He's yelling at Wolverine. He's like, "Okay, we need to get the adamantium out right now." And Wolverine's strapped to the table. He says, "What happened? You forget your pocket knife? Come on!" I love that scene. It's so fucking great.
I just love the idea that Wolverine is in full suit laying in bed.
Yeah, with the mask on.
With the mask on. Like, he's in his room. Like, I don't even, like,
A
what am I
twin
room?
bed, for that matter. It's
Right.
a small twin bed.
Right. It's like, if I'm in my room, I'm not going to even have pants on.
When that X-Men light goes off, you gotta be ready to go. When
He's
that-
like a firefighter. He's always
Right.
ready
when Xavier sends you that.
in that tight yellow uniform.
Yeah. Sweating.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine how hot it gets in that uniform he
How does
wears?
it jerk off?
It's
Did you ever
full
take off the
body.
whole thing?
It's full
No,
body.
he jerks off through the outfit. Come on.
Oh, okay.
He has a zipper.
Be
No,
reasonable.
he could cut a whole thing.
I mean,
Wait, are you saying he jerks off with the claws out?
Wouldn't
he
you?
might.
That's what we call a stranger.
I mean, what are we talking about here?
That's what you call Gambit.
I mean, he does recover.
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
I don't know if you know this about Wolverine. Wolverine's into the pain stuff. So.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But I mean, this was your first interpretation. This was your first cool interpretation of Gambit stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Rogue. I mean, fucking in the first episode with
Magneto.
Rogue, where she's punching Sentinels in the face.
Yeah.
Come on, that's awesome. But like I said, I always on that show. It always frustrated the shit out of me when they brought in a brand new X-Men character. Like, all right, and then he left.
So what is it? You wanted to pick up where it left off and then grow?
I don't mind it. I don't mind. it
Or
picking
you
up-
want 20 years later and there's like a school established and they're all like the teachers are all
rotating
grown
cast.
up.
I would be for that too.
20 years later.
Give us a
Like, what are the
rotating
things- the
He's
next-
still laying in the bed?
The next show that came. The next show that came after that was what? The X-Men
Evolution.
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 Which at least they took on new members.
Yeah.
It started out as a core group, and then it started to grow.
It's just
By the end
it
of it,
was, it was like angsty X-Men because
Yeah,
it was like
but-
goth rock.
Yeah,
I didn't say it was
Well,
good. I'm just saying at
it was
least
high
it's
school.
built on the idea of like the things that I wanted to happen.
The only ones that were in high school were like
Wolverine, Storm,
Storm,
and then Professor
and then
X.
of course Professor X and Magneto, and then Mystique was like a teacher, so she was still technically in high school, and it was just like, oh man.
And then you had the stupid thing about Nightcrawler who
Yeah.
had a thing that covered it.
Yeah, the hologram.
the hologram,
Yeah.
and his tail would pop out of the hologram and do things like control yourself.
Did any of you watch Wolverine and the X-Men?
Mm-mm.
Supposedly that was good.
That was super good. That was better than the original.
All I know about X-Men Evolution was it ended. What?
Oh no, I watched it. I liked it.
Right? Wolverine and the X-Men.
I never got to that one.
Go. Watch it.
Amir actually saw all the little X-Men animated series recently,
Yeah,
including the animated.
I bought a
animated
collector's
one.
edition. Instead of
But Wolverine and the X-Men to me is the best one.
hey, even the Tokyo animation X-Men and that too. I liked Android.
Oh yeah, I
that
saw
too.
that. I see a few of those. Those are pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm dope. Let's go.
All right.
I'm down.
We got some Swamp Thing cancellation details. It started out as it was a money thing, and now we're hearing
I heard
it's
taxes, right?
it was a
No,
tax
no, no.
thing.
Right.
Now they're saying different. Now they're saying
Yeah,
it's not that.
it was
It's one of
taxes,
those.
and then now they're saying that like it just was just crazy budget, and then now they're blaming on like Warner Media wanting to absorb the DC Universe streaming altogether.
But those are all the rumors. The official statement by DC said we can't say anything. Can't say anything.
right,
That's
which
all
is
it really says.
which
We
is
can't say
super
anything.
frustrating
They
because
should
we
have
waited.
all
This,
the above.
right,
Yeah, I mean, that's what it feels like. That's honestly what it feels like. It was a lot of things that went into it that Warner maybe wanted a different thing. They're absorbing DC Universe. They want to go with the CW style of shows and have it formatted. All these rumors are out, and I feel like all of them have a piece of truth, which is sad because
it's
Swamp
great.
Thing has a different style of storytelling,
A different
a
tone.
different tone, and it's horror, and it's a decent R rating.
Oh, I love it. It's
watch
okay
this week.
just to show how different George and I are. So something horrifically happens to a person with vines, and let's just say it's
Gross.
Gross. It's very
Fucking
gross. He goes, and I go, yes.
It's exactly
Yeah,
what happened.
I cheered because I like body horror. I like horror, and I really like gore.
So you're Perry and he's Bakugan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. For those Collider friends. Yes. But for Justin, for your sake, like, watch Swamp Thing. It's fucking awesome.
Why? It's not going to go anywhere.
I'll watch it this week.
It's
To
still going to
enjoy.
be 10
Yeah,
great episodes because so far we've gone 2
10
great
great
And
episodes.
it might
that
get
don't
picked
go-
up. And might get picked
If
up.
it gets picked up, I will definitely watch it. But unfortunately, if it's not going to go anywhere, what's the point?
You're breaking
Hey,
my
you
heart.
watched Game of Thrones.
I didn't know it wasn't going to go anywhere. So can't really blame that on me.
Yeah.
Can't really blame
I
that
don't know.
on me.
I don't like the explanation. It's like, then why watch any movies? Oh, it's not going to get a sequel. Doesn't matter. You're going to get
No, but
2
with-
hours of good
but-
entertainment.
Most
No,
of
no,
the
no.
time, a movie is made with a start
Well,
and
with-
finishing.
Beginning,
But who's to
middle,
say
end.
it's
Yeah,
not going
Bad
to end?
Angels.
But TV shows are made for to go on multiple seasons.
Right.
You know,
But
It's
depends on
TV
the show. Some shows are
Self-contained.
we
tell,
know-
right. Like a story is self-contained within a
Exactly, but
season.
we know this was not created that way.
No,
we
we
already
don't.
know that.
They could have edited the ending to, give you closure. Because they knew ahead of time.
Look, I'm not
They
saying I'm
knew ahead
not
of
going to
time.
watch it. I'm just saying my enthusiasm on it is
No,
low.
They did not know
Be-
ahead of time. They said middle of the season.
Oh, yeah,
It was
that's
like,
the
whoa, cut.
Middle is still more ahead than, hey, the season's over. You're canceled, by the way. So
they thought they were going to get 13 or 12 episodes, and they ended up getting 10.
But I think they knew about that ahead of time.
Yeah,
That they knew ahead of time.
that's what they only did.
Not what I read.
Right.
What
They
I
said
read
in
is
the
it's
middle.
like you're canceled and you're getting 10 episodes, so you lose
in
2.
the middle, like at 5.
No,
Episode 5
I
they
heard
came
that
in,
they
"Hey, guys."
knew that they were getting less episodes. And then as they were filming, they were like, we're not able to renew you guys.
Here's the thing. Actually, you know what I'm actually doing? I'm stalling. I'm waiting for you guys to get to the end to tell me if it actually goes anywhere.
All right.
Because if it gets to the end and you guys are, oh no, it's got a great, which now you're probably going to do anyway. Just
Yeah.
get me to watch the show.
Hey.
Yeah, because it
But-
was good.
But I mean, it's seriously, I do want to watch it. It is on the list. It's just because, like, I do this with TV shows. If I've got a TV show DVR that I'm like 6 episodes behind, and then I end up finding out the TV show's canceled, I never watch it because I'm just like, then it's just
You're
going
for
to
DVR.
end. It's just going to end, and it's not going to end correctly, and you're just going to be left wanting more. And I was like, yeah, what's the
Well, then
point?
watch Doom Patrol. That one ended and ended well.
But you supposedly are getting more out of that.
I mean, it's the thing.
Supposedly, but we again,
we don't know.
With the stuff of Warner Media might absorbing this service, we have no idea.
Well, now they're saying shit like everything's gone except Titans. Titans is going to go over to
Which
makes I'd rather cancel Titans than Doom Patrol.
I won't lie, Titans is the weakest right now.
Yeah, but they're already talking about season 3 on Titans.
It's the weakest.
Yeah, that's the saddest part.
Because they're saying now that Lex Luthor is going to be the villain in season 3.
Yeah, the weakest show so far.
And what? Titans?
Titans.
Because
Isai Morales is Deathstroke in season 2.
Young Justice, amazing. The Swamp Thing, amazing. Doom Patrol, it subverts your expectations in a good way.
Instead of getting Lex and Titans, I'd rather see the Doom Patrol fight the butt monsters again.
Oh, you and those butt monsters.
That was so funny.
But Titans is the most mainstream.
It is the most mainstream.
It sounds like me, DC and bad decisions going there.
So, hello.
Well,
is anybody
Warner
really
Brothers.
surprised by these decisions?
No.
Warner Brothers is the one who really
At this
wants
point, this is why it's hard to be a fan.
So I'll get to it. But you know what? I will sit down and watch the first episode just because you guys will not leave me.
You try to watch it.
But here's the thing: you've already said you said it's body horror and gore, and I hate that. So
I love it.
But with very good storytelling.
Yeah, great.
I don't like body horror and gore. That's not my thing.
No,
I like Kevin says. I make
do you jerk off when you watch Saw? Is that your thing?
No, I don't like torture porn.
That's torture porn. It's a little different.
Still gore.
It's very gory, which makes my stomach.
Like the Evil Dead remake.
This is great.
Like the Evil Dead remake. That gore, I like. It's not torture porn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a shot. I'm gonna forego my Lucifer review until next week because it's just gonna be too long. So I'll kick that over to next week. It's not that big a deal. But I did watch Krypton season 2.
We are gonna see that. So I would like to hold off on that.
If you can do,
because I don't want anything spoiled because we want to watch it.
Spoiler free.
I could give you a spoiler.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. It was it picks up right where it left off.
Good.
And then
I will.
That was the roughest spoiler-free review ever.
That's really all you can say.
Yeah, right. I don't want
because I do want to tell you the one thing that happened that was actually really cool, but you don't want anything spoiled. No. So it's like you know it's coming because it's already been announced. But I didn't think it was going to happen in the first episode.
Lobo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Whatever.
We had Lobo in the first episode. Does Zod grow hair?
No.
Okay, that's a spoiler.
Damn. Would you really be disappointed if you knew that?
No.
Come on.
No, I've never seen that actor with hair, so I guess it's fine.
I do really want to see that actor as Zod with a beard.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
A little more intimidating.
Yeah, like not like the one he had in season 1, like a full beard, like how in the comics Zod has.
Well, his beard is like mine in this episode.
Dope. That's I really want to see that.
Yeah, so some time has passed.
I wasn't interested in
Yeah.
I can't pick up two conversations.
I'm in it because we're watching villains before the heroes.
Huh?
It's dumb.
Well,
just like Gotham. All these villains before Batman. All these villains before Superman.
But no,
it's a different.
No. Krypton functions on its own. No, Krypton functions on its own merit because it's before any of this happened. But it has it has very minimal to do with Superman. The only thing it really has to do with Superman is Adam Strange has come from the future to say that somebody's come to the past to change Superman's history.
This is 2 generations before Superman,
and that's really where it ends. And the only thing that they've done is they've brought Zod in, but Zod is
Zod's fine.
Zod is from the future,
but it's not like Gotham. It's not like Gotham that like present day Batman already happened and we're time traveling. No, Superman is already established. He's already a thing. His villains weren't born before Superman. It's just now there's time travel involved to a time where Superman is not around.
And the Brainiac that's on the show
is a young Brainiac.
Is a Brainiac before.
Lobo's a young.
I know villains.
But you're talking about Doomsday.
Right.
Okay. Well, Doomsday was a Kryptonian villain. He was created on Krypton.
So this is a young Doomsday.
But the only thing they've changed is that in the original comic, he was created on Krypton. Thousands, not to fight Superman.
No.
He was created on Krypton thousands of years before Krypton was a thing. Okay, before there was even people on Krypton.
I do remember that.
Okay, and then he was moved off planet. Right. The thing they've changed in this is that he was still created on Krypton, but he stayed there and was encapsulated.
Kept hidden underground.
Okay, that's the only thing they've changed.
Okay,
because
they play a little bit.
I changed my
and it's.
I see where you're coming from, and yes, it does feel like you get that really feel of like Gotham, But honestly,
No,
in
Gotham
the
is dog shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
This is
but
not
honestly, everything that happened in the first season and everything that's happened in this first episode, nothing really contradicts anything.
Yeah.
Crisis of Versus.
seeing the House of Zod early on.
Yeah.
Before
It's
General
incredible.
Zod.
That makes sense. That does
But
make
then,
sense.
incredible.
but then bringing in General Zod to kind of go,
Right, all that makes sense.
now
because-
we get to see.
Right.
Yeah, him
Yeah.
meeting his mother is a nice. His meeting
Yeah,
his
because
grandmother.
in his eyes, he's the hero of the planet. He's like,
Correct.
oh, I get to save the planet from destruction.
And see, I don't remember, like, they talk about in the how Adam Strange, do you remember at the end of last season, Adam Strange going back to Earth?
yeah.
Okay.
No, but he's in the one that's captured in Brainiac.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's present day. So then Earth already fell. So it's suggesting that when he went forward in time, it's now this new timeline
Well,
that Zod has
the
created.
cape changed because he brought Superman's
Yes,
cape with
so it's a
him.
new timeline that Zod created.
Yeah, because the cape changed. It wasn't the S, it was Zod's symbol on the
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So it's like a Back to the Future issue.
kind of.
We have a
yeah.
secondary timeline.
So
Yes.
this episode, there really not a lot happens in this episode. I will say that, but what it does is it does set up everything kind of nicely,
Perfect.
and you
yeah,
get
that's what you want.
you get some really good scenes between certain characters that you guys
It's funny that we just talked about this, and just before this, we talked about budget cuts and all this crazy stuff with Swamp Thing. Krypton looks expensive,
It does.
bro.
They put
I don't
money
know.
into it.
It legit looks like, Joe, that they filmed on an alien planet.
And every
Nothing
time
about it looks fake or CG or
Listen, they actually-
PlayStation 2 graphics.
They
No,
built this.
it
They
looks
built it in a
good.
studio.
and the thing about it is though, every time they turn around, they're doing something sci-fi. Like
Yeah.
they'll walk through a wall, or they'll have like, some
Yeah.
kind of weird sci-fi weapon or something. You just like,
Yeah, it's Krypton.
and it's
That's
throwaway. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's
You know?
just so a part of the world that it doesn't need explanation.
I read something somewhere that sci-fi was looking to adapt more DC properties. Let me find that article.
Yeah, but why would they if DC has their own app?
Well, here's the thing. This is also the one thing you gotta remember
I
is
mean,
this is
I'm
also
just saying.
sci-fi has got control of this show, which this should get you guys good. So we can expect it to go for maybe one more season and they'll cancel it because sci-fi has control. So really, if you want to argue with me about shit that's not going to go anywhere, I mean, we already know that they're probably going to cancel the show before it ends because that's what sci-fi does. They don't.
Would
really,
you want it to introduce some kind of element that could then be spun off?
They're already talking about spinning it off. They're going to spin
Yeah.
off Lobo.
Lobo?
Yeah, Lobo.
I mean, that's the best way. That way we get cosmic adventures with Lobo.
But see, what's going to happen is now you're going to spin off Lobo, and then they're going to put all their eggs in Lobo's basket, and then they're going to cancel Krypton.
Right.
So then you're going to be like, oh, Lobo's great, and then they're going to spin something off out of Lobo, or something else is going to come along, and they're going to go, okay, we like this, fuck this.
I mean,
Sci-Fi's model for the past couple of years has been
to
introduce a show, put a lot of effort into the show, cancel the show.
Right.
You know, it doesn't even get an ending. It just kind
Dark Matter, Killjoy. I mean, I can sit here and start listing
exactly.
things.
I mean, Dark Matter was a great show.
It's fantastic. Season 2 went a little weird, but it's still good.
So.
Kevin, did you ever see any of those?
No.
Those crappy
I didn't really care for the other one.
Killjoys?
Killjoys.
That was an interesting take on a future bounty hunter system and the whole planet and everything. It was a unique watch, but I mean, it's a sci-fi show.
I like Dark Matter better. I thought Dark Matter was better.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were both put out to
Same
go
time.
to different audiences,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dark Matter.
If you're like me and you like shows like Stargate and stuff like that, Dark
Dark
Matter
Matter
is the show.
100%.
I trust Justin in that.
No, I agree with him.
So, like I said, I do want to review season 4 of Lucifer, but it's a little involved, so I'll do that next week. So,
Is that the one that's the Netflix made?
Mhm.
Cool.
This season actually was. I mean, I've watched it since the beginning. This season actually had a really good ending.
Cool.
Really good ending.
Okay, I want to hear more about it next time.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going into movies. Marvel Studios is going to present Phase 4 at D23. You kind of knew that was going to happen.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
2 different sites have stated that.
Well, see, Disney saves all their greatest things for D23.
That's their event.
That's their SDCC.
But then now I want to talk at least quickly of like expectations in the sense of, do you think we're gonna get full lineup or like
I think we're going to get to at least the
immediate future lineup,
No.
and then like okay, maybe we'll
They
get
said
to
No.
Phase 4.
Yeah, Phase 4.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the full run. I
So
don't think we're
Phase
going to.
4
There shouldn't be any open spaces in there.
It's just the last time they did this, like at the El Capitan before, or whatever, it included movies that they never got around to even doing it.
Well, there's nothing to say.
Inhumans.
But that was the only thing that got taken off. Was Inhumans.
Right, but things got shuffled around. That didn't include Spider-Man for Homecoming.
Because they got the rights after. I mean, you got to be flexible.
Right.
You gotta, you know.
But that's what I'm saying. Be flexible in the sense, hey, don't say in concrete, this is our slate. No, just tell us what's coming out in the next 2 years.
Well, that's why they say projected.
2 years. Right, projected
They
2
say-
years.
No, but they're doing projected phase 4. It
Hey.
could be 2 years.
It could be like
It could
DC.
be 2.
Look at these movies. Forget
I mean,
these movies. We
nah,
didn't make
it
them.
could-
Well, look at what
DC's
DC's doing now is the fact that they're saying everybody's upset with them not going to be at SDCC this year, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, we're not going to be this year, but next year, the 2020, we're going to be there. We're going to have a ton of info."
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, what are you doing?
Yeah, no,
It's finished.
we have an Alfred series. Stay tuned.
Rumor,
On a streaming service.
Yeah.
rumor that Peyton Reed is going to direct Fantastic Four for the reboot.
I like that rumor.
Same, so do I.
Peyton Reed, oh, he did Ant-Man. Yeah,
Ant-Man.
yeah.
I'm totally okay with that. Because it's funny, he was hired because of his Fantastic Four fandom. Not Ant-Man fandom. I thought it was really interesting.
But I'm sure they were like, when we get it back.
Yeah,
the
we
rumor-
got you. We got you. Do a good job here.
One of the rumors coming out now is that apparently Rock is in talks to be an MCU character. They're appointing that thing.
That's
No.
As a
cheap.
voice character.
Nope.
That's cheap.
Nope. Not it.
You got The Rock just to be the thing?
You could be
They got Vin
Rock.
Diesel just to
No,
be rude.
there's no contractual stipulations
Right, that you can't
on
okay.
exclusivity for DC
Okay.
or Marvel.
Yeah, it's just business marketing sense to
He'll be
have
big
a
before
face
he's
of
Black
something.
Adam.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
I hate you,
That's sad.
Joe. I hate you, Joe.
It's the truth.
it's
That's
I'm
true.
sorry.
Because now they're saying he might not even be Black Adam.
Jesus.
What?
They were talking about
Huzzah.
how, what would they do if
Huzzah.
So he's tired.
Warner Brothers
Well,
are a bunch of
it's-
retards. That's
Joe,
what.
come on.
the
I said that loud enough to where they.
It was.
they're saying the rumor I read the other day was that they had asked Black Adam. Wow, they had asked Dwayne Johnson how he would feel if he didn't, if DC moved on and didn't use him as who would he choose to replace him as Black Adam, basically.
Oh.
So, but they're already floating the idea of maybe he's not going to play him.
Hey, we signed you 8 years ago. We might not do it. You have somebody we could call? And then we'll hold that person for 8 years and then ask them, hey, you know what? We might make this movie. We don't know yet. But we are going to make that Barbara Gordon movie. Maybe. Possibly.
Oh, we're making that Birds of Prey movie for sure.
We have an Alfred
It
series
reminds me
coming.
of what happened to the first
Alfred
Punisher
series.
actor. The first Punisher actor. I read an article about
Thomas
him.
Jane.
Yeah, where he wanted to do the sequel, and they were stringing him on, and it was basically just until he would drop off because they wanted to replace him.
And then they get Ray Stevenson.
he really wasn't the Punisher in that first movie. He was the
Yeah.
instigator.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
didn't really do any punishing. He just kind of was behind the scenes. You do that.
I mean, hey, not his fault. He didn't write the script.
He did come out with a really cool pseudo sequel to it.
Yeah, the dry cleaning.
Dirty Laundry.
Dirty laundry.
Dirty laundry.
Dry cleaning. Goddamn.
Yeah, you've never seen Dirty Laundry?
I was doing
It's
that as
great.
a joke, though. So
It's
for
good.
real, Rock is not going to be.
Oh no!
No,
It's
rumor.
rumored that they're already floating the idea that maybe he might not be the role.
Does anything surprise you, Joe, at this point?
No.
Okay, then.
Okay.
And that's what gets me mad. Is that I want these motherfuckers to win. They're just like, nah, we're content to keep eating shit.
Hey, the ones with the biggest fandoms are the ones that hate on things the most.
Fucking
That's
Christ.
how it is.
So are we okay if he were to be the thing?
No, I'm not.
I'm not either.
I'm 100% no. Put him. He could be so
Me-
many other MCU characters.
Yeah,
I don't
agreed.
think-
What
I
if he
don't
was?
think Feige-
What if he was the actual?
No.
No,
Nope.
no.
Voice or body? Nah, neither.
Yeah, I don't want him to be.
Yeah, I don't think Marvel will do that. They wouldn't do that.
Marvel would show him in any movie. Hey, you want to be in all our movies? We'll make you different characters. The Rock is funny.
Yeah.
Is it because you don't like The Rock?
Marvel-
No, I like the Rock.
I've met him. He's a fantastic human being.
Marvel is money.
Marvel-
So you
so
just
then
seem to
next
shut it down real quick. I'm like, what
It's
is
just
the problem?
Okay,
I don't think Marvel needs The Rock.
he doesn't give me The
No,
Rock.
be fair. Everybody needs The Rock.
The Rock is a charismatic.
I want The Rock on our show. That's how bad.
Yeah.
it is.
The Rock,
Agreed,
the Rock is a
yeah.
charismatic actor. You want his face in front of it, and you want him not to be part of a quartet. You want him to be either leading protagonist or antagonist, and you want his face there. The thing doesn't give him
He's
that.
The Rock
See, the
in
reason
every
why-
fucking movie. He's just The Rock.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not.
See, the reason why you said it though, he's charismatic, and you kind of need that charismatic person to be the thing to
That is true.
emphasize
That is true.
the human aspect of a guy stuck in a rock.
I feel someone else can do that.
And think about the advertising character abilities alone. The Rock is playing a Rock character. I mean, shit.
Fuck, you're almost selling because he's the best at delivering puns.
He is.
And like cheesy lines.
And that's really what the thing does.
I'd rather have as Victor Von Doom.
What?
Ew.
I literally said it just to have
Look,
you guys do that.
I'm the first guy to say that I'm with you. I think The Rock can play anything. And I don't really know to be honest with you, I really don't know how I feel about them talking about the thing. I think it's just a rumor. I don't think it's actually real. But if I had to, if it was announced tomorrow, I can't say that I'd be upset by it. I mean, I would want him to be in the movie more than I'd want him to just be a voice, because again, I would actually, you know what I'd want him to be? I'd want him to be like the Hulk. Motion capture, mocap.
Motion capture. Or
Thanos.
Because at least then you would get the expressions, the facial expressions. But they did it for the Hulk in 4 movies. So, I mean, it's like, can't be that expensive. Excuse me, 5.
Oh,
can't be that expensive.
Ruffalo's not that expensive.
I think
the Hulk? The Rock?
The Rock. I think they could work a deal out with The Rock. I think that's good. And here's the thing. Disney's got more money than God right now. I don't think money's an issue.
Is it bad that I'm like naturally scared because you mentioned something like that and I just think of Scorpion King and I'm like, I don't know if I want The Rock in anything.
You want the Scorpion King in this?
Because in every movie, he's The Rock. There's no change.
The nanny.
But what I'm saying is, you're right in that he can be very charismatic. He has a way of looking at you and getting you on his side. So I think that would be really good for a character like The Thing. And if you do him mocap, where his facial expressions are his real facial expressions, I think it could work. Am I championing the idea? No, not really. I don't really think it's real. But I gotta say, there's certain kind of appeal to it.
Make him Conan.
At this point, I just for Fantastic Four in the MCU, I'm really championing those fan castings going like everywhere.
Of your boys, Fantastic.
Jim Caviezel as Reed Richards, Emily Blunt as Sue Storm.
I do like that.
Zac Efron as Johnny Storm.
Yes.
But no one agrees for Thing. And now you're selling me on Dwayne Johnson as Thing, and like I'm envisioning those 4 actors next to each other, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
I would actually.
The Rock is more of a nice guy. The Thing is a little more gruff, especially with his interaction.
What are you talking about?
Johnny.
The Thing is like the nicest guy on the team.
Yeah, he's
just gruff with Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like
the Thing. The fucker's called the ever-loving Thing.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about Baywatch and the interaction between Zac Efron and Dwayne Johnson, and I'm like, that's kind of like Johnny.
Right, because he's always busting Johnny's chops.
The one edit I will make is because I'm not the biggest Jim. I mean, I like Jim Caviezel, but as Reed Richards, I don't see it. I actually would prefer The Office. Jim.
Jim. Her husband.
Krasinski.
That's what I just said.
Hi, I knew something.
Justin.
Oh yeah, he did.
Justin,
he did say that. That's what he named. He said
he said Jim Caviezel.
No, ew, what the hell?
You said Jim Caviezel?
No.
I swear I heard Jim Caviezel.
Why would I say Jesus Christ?
I'm with him. I didn't hear.
No, Krasinski.
No, my bad. No, I swear to God I heard Jim Caviezel.
I'm on your side. I did not hear Krasinski.
I swear to God I heard.
Me and Kevin have had this discussion. He's the one who actually turns it to his side. That I just heard it automatically.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm on your side. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Lay back the tape.
No, most likely maybe I did say the wrong thing, but I meant
no, because that's where I was like, Caviezel. I was like, you Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay,
Jesus.
I don't see that, but sure.
Jesus playing the MCU Jesus,
right?
Yes, I just went there.
No. Yeah, Krasinski, Emily Blunt. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
And if we can get a story that leads to the Maker, I'll be okay with that too.
Yes.
Come on.
That's like third. That's
no.
movie.
You don't understand how much I love the Maker, but I just know it's not going to happen.
A third movie, or make him a big bad.
Because you got to introduce the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, that he's the one that manipulated.
The universe is coming out. Don't worry about it.
That he's the one that manipulated their accident. Ooh, I like it.
See, but here's the thing: all these characters are really important, but it kind of linchpins on who do they cast as Doom. Because if you ain't got the right guy as Doom,
you know what's sad? I would have loved Michael Fassbender as Doom.
He would have been a good Doom. And he's saying there's nothing to say he can't play.
I know there's nothing to say he can. I don't know why
he was Magneto. I mean, I don't think he would after playing Magneto, but there's nothing to say he can't do it.
Nah,
I mean, Josh Brolin went and played Cable.
Marvel can easily just walk in and be like, "Hey, you know how you work for Fox? Come work for the good guys."
After what he just walked off of, he would gladly walk in.
Yeah.
It's like we'll take care of you.
To George's interest, your boy, because there was some fan casting I saw that for Doctor Doom is Klaus from the originals.
Yes, okay. I was joking about Dwayne as Victor earlier, but the character, the guy who plays the character Klaus from the originals, I'm not sure of his name right now. Was it Michael? No. Either way, fantastic actor, great accent. If he wants to do an accent for Victor, and he's just menacing. Like he has this air of aristocraticness, like proper noble, which Victor is,
like, and snobbishness, which is Victor.
Yeah, like his character on the originals kind of felt a little bit like Victor. If you take away the vampire part,
so I'm okay with that. Like, I know it's just fan casting, and we're just talking, hypothetically, but I would like that.
Joseph Morgan.
I was way off. Joseph Morgan.
I would like Fassbender though.
Oh,
yeah, but it's not gonna happen.
You're not. Why not?
Again, it's think of it as the
committing
business
himself
of PR.
to another franchise after being attached to one.
So recent, such a recent,
right?
Especially
a real franchise run by a real studio.
No, you can't say that because when he attached himself to that franchise, it was still a real franchise. It was also a real studio.
Yeah, hey, First Class was.
As much as you don't like those movies made a lot of money. A lot of people liked them, me included.
What? That one was fun.
No, that one was awesome.
He does not.
They turned the fucking Sentinels just to match fucking Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, that dog shit. Days of Future Past stuff.
I don't know, dude. You have this whole thing original. Like, I feel bad for your child if he likes anything different.
No!
You know what's a good idea? She changes. Let's make these big robots change too. No. It's dumb.
Alright, I think we should cut it off there.
They're already over 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I wanted to talk about the total Tom Holland thing.
Alright, so the rumor Tom Holland's going to be cast in the Uncharted movie.
It's not rumor, he is cast.
Yeah,
he
is
confirmed?
Is
it confirmed? Alright, my bad.
Because he looks like a child.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
And Nathan Drake is a little bit older than a child.
Nathan Drake is like a 30-year-old man.
No, he's the young. They're going younger.
They're gonna start off younger.
So it's like a pre.
Yeah, didn't
Uncharted,
okay?
Uncharted.
I don't know. I heard that the last.
Talk about them as
Yeah, he's done stuff younger.
Right, I heard that the last Uncharted game did like flashbacks.
Yeah, it did.
Uncharted 4. So it's going to be based on. I can't say I played Uncharted 4 because
I haven't played any of them.
Oh,
I
really?
heard they're great.
No, it's a great story.
Indiana
It's kind of
Jones
like
modern.
Indiana Jones modern.
Yeah,
It's cool.
no, I've seen some of
But
it.
from the first one, it was like a 34-year-old man. So I'm here like.
But he was already established in the first one. You knew who Nathan.
Tom Holland's
In
in
the fourth, it deals with his childhood, growing up with his brother.
I'll
and
watch it.
everything.
Off of that one, like how?
Oh, it might start with the original story.
That's all I wanted was some clarity because to me it just didn't make sense. I'm like,
If he's playing the younger version, if he's playing the older Drake, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make
The boy can't grow facial hair.
Right, it's just like weird.
Well, I mean, if you're building a career based off of the fact that you look young enough to play a teenage Spider-Man, and then you're moving to this character, you're gonna lose something in the translation.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, it's gonna be a younger, like, high school, college level Nathan Drake.
So Uncharted Origins.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and really, when you think about it, when you do a video game, when you turn a video game into a movie, you really have to do something original to kind of get it to go. Because these adaptions of these games just
you can't stick to a one-to-one.
They usually suck, period. But that's my whole thing. Like that's why I wanted an idea. Like if it's gonna be like a prequel thing, but now that you tell me that it's in a game too, means that they're gonna kind of try to.
Well, they might be using that as a basis.
Yeah,
it has to be adapted. It can't be one-to-one.
Because the whole thing about the fourth game is that he meets up with his brother again, and they start reminiscing. Like they have flashbacks to when they were kids and they were growing up and they were orphans. So.
Well, that's my whole thing. Like, I just wanted to be standalone. The same way I'm happy about the Marvel game because it's not like we're recreating the movie or we're redoing anything. Mm-hmm. It's its own story. If it's its own story, then I'm on it. But if it's like we're gonna rehash this game the way we want to envision it, then I'm not even
like old school video games.
Like almost every video game.
Old school movie. Yeah.
Every video game movie wants to do like we're gonna redo the game like that too. I'm like, no, because you're gonna cag it. It's gonna suck. Like
Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace on PlayStation 1. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was a thing.
It was a thing.
Just like this episode was.
Yeah, and it's long, and it's
Hard.
Needs to be over.
Like
Okay.
E3 was.
Like a Warner Brothers.
Like E3
executive
still
meeting?
is.
Yeah, it was still
No, man. Them Warner Brothers executive meetings are, hey, you see this? So do I. Moving on.
Yeah, those.
I needed that.
Oh,
All right. So thank you for listening. Check us out on social media, Rogue Nation Podcast, Rogue Nation Pod. And come in next week. Let us know how we're doing. And we'll see you.
Who's your fan casting for Fantastic Four?
Team Michael Fassbender.
Rogue out.
Or Klaus.
Or that guy.